Hello, everyone! Welcome to another episode of Critical Critique. We're back again.
Not
back
yet
again to be
kidnapped.
weird. Kidnapped. Kidnapped to be weird. We're gonna be weird.
Yeah.
you like being weird, don't you, Ellie? You like being weird?
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
very weird at the moment.
Yeah, we're very weird. We're very weird. So yes, we're gonna be talking. We're gonna be watching a video that showed up on Twitter literally this week.
We had another video in the running, but
We did. We were kind of thinking about what we were going to do this week, because you misjudged when the Game Awards were.
Yeah.
Because we were going to do a Game Awards recap, but then it was like, oh no,
It's been
Game
like the
Awards
first
didn't
week
happen
of
till next week.
December for 3 years or so.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, essentially, I came across this on Twitter and people were dunking on it because of the title and whatnot, because it's all about, oh, why is anime so weird?
And you know, Naretsu, my fancy words. The first thing I said was holy Orientalism.
Orientalism, yeah. Well, I mean, we don't know yet, right? We don't know. We haven't watched the video. We got to be careful because you don't want to judge a book by its cover, right?
Yeah.
You know, maybe he makes some good points. You know, maybe he's he's not doing a racism.
Yeah, but quickly, Naretsu, before we do the start, have you been touching grass?
Not I mean, outside at work, not particularly. I've been I've been touching the girls on the front line.
Ooh.
If that counts as touching the grass.
Close enough.
Close enough,
it's
yeah.
It's the closest you ever get to Naretsu. Ha ha ha.
Oh shit! Ha 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 ha! Yeah. But no, I've been because GFL 2, as you know, I streamed the CBT. It is out. You can go play it. You just have to go to the website and download the exe file and the launcher and go play it. It will be on Steam at some point. They just haven't released it on Steam yet fully, right? So basically, yeah, I've been just fucking playing the fuck out of that.
Yeah, Naruto, I do have been watching a little bit of it, but I'm afraid it's one of those games that look like I would be into it, but I'm not.
Well, you have a crippling fear and anxiety of gacha games, so it wouldn't.
Besides that,
it wouldn't work for you anyway.
And also, FIFO, that's a valid excuse. You don't have to.
Been on a Minecraft. Yeah, I have that happen sometimes too, where I'm like, you know, I wonder how the mod packs are doing for Minecraft, and then I'll go on CurseForge and I'll be like, oh, that looks fun. That looks fun. That was a fun mod pack, and then I spend like the next week just fucking around in Minecraft.
On that
note,
yeah, let's see, 24 November is the 1st of December. That's kind of relevant. I've beaten Terraria, like
shit,
almost the day after the last stream. I had to check the date because it's a long time ago. Yeah, I've beaten the Moon Lord after years and years and years since it was added, and years since I played the game. I just was tired of having it mostly finished, and just went on the wiki, said, alright, what is the good gear? Where do I get good gear? And then I got good gear, and then I
got good.
Yeah.
You got good, yeah.
So yeah, that game is now done for me, because having it played again, Terraria isn't that good outside of when there's no progression anymore.
Yeah, I've played Terraria at least ages ago. Like I don't, I heard they're still updating it. Like
yeah, they are
getting content. So I haven't played it in like years, so I'm probably vastly out of date in my Terraria knowledge. But I do remember that, yeah, it does kind of drag when you get to that kind of end game, right? When it's like, oh yeah, I'm now Giga OP and resources don't really matter. I can just, you know, do whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and when you run out of the progression, the combat system isn't very involved. Kind of semi-standing still and shooting or whipping or swinging something at the thing that wants to hurt you. And the building is a little bit too granular, you know, kind of pixel arts kind of deal. Minecraft has, you know, good metered blocks that you can quickly make something out of, but
yeah, because Terraria is 2D nature. I mean, I do think it is unique.
Yeah, it is very unique.
Plane is a 2D plane, and I think it does differ. I think it differentiates itself enough from Minecraft as a game to kind of have its own niche. So there's nothing inherently wrong with one style or the other. I do think that because with Minecraft is an interesting case because for me it's like, are we talking about Minecraft vanilla or are we talking about Minecraft mods? Because if we're talking about Minecraft vanilla, I would actually argue that
I would go vanilla because I've been playing Terraria vanilla, I guess.
Yeah, because I feel like Minecraft vanilla is not as dissimilar from Terraria. You kind of need to have like a set goal, like, because once you build your base and your fun house and your big project and you beat the dragon or whatever, right? You don't really have like a whole lot to do, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's possibly just a consequence of the type of game, right?
Yeah, I guess. You're right. Minecraft is also very much a progression game where you get better stuff, more of the stuff.
Yeah, you go from iron to diamond to netherite to and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, so I beaten Terraria. I beaten that was it 2 Crowns game? The Kingdom 2 Crowns.
Kingdom 2 Crowns.
It was a big deal way back when. Maybe not a big deal. That's maybe too much, but it was a semi-big game because it was simple and kind of semi-strategy, kind of defense, kind of tower defense-ish. And yeah, you just kind of have to defeat wave of monsters, kill the portal where they come from, and then move to the next island. And once you kind of have a pattern, you don't really have to break from it. So it doesn't. It might have. They could have made it maybe one island shorter, one island less. But it's a game off the list, and I had fun enough playing it. And now I'm playing Grey Goo. Ever heard of Grey Goo?
No, I have not. Grey Goo?
It was a strategy game, an RTS, the classic. Kind of hoping to revive, kind of hoping to capture that latent, the abandoned fan base of the RTS. And I had fun playing it then. I never finished the campaign. That's kind of the only reason why I play RTS. And the human faction I'm playing right now is so clunky. I don't really want to play anymore.
Oh, rip.
It does a kind of fun thing where humans are super duper advanced and kind of the Grey Goo concept in sci-fi.
A little bit.
No, the self-replicating, planet-eating.
Yeah, the thing that absorbs all the things.
And then make more of itself, and eventually the entire universe is dead and eaten up by Grey Goo, as it's called. So really quick, Naruto, Grey Goo crash lands on alien planet. Aliens are there. Aliens stand on 2 legs, have 2 arms, and then have 2 tiny raptor arms on their chest.
Nice. Nice.
And they have very expensive CGI scenes where, alien guy is looking through binoculars. And then he is finished looking through the binoculars and he hands the binoculars to his smaller arms on his chest. And then he's holding a small thing with his small chest. And then in the units, there's a army unit or standard army guy is a guy is carrying a big gun. and his two smaller arms are also grabbing the big gun for extra lift. So, and yeah, the humans are playing more like the aliens because the humans are so advanced. They are basically aliens. The aliens are somewhat on the level of human technology, so they are playing more like the humans. And there's a Great Goo faction. I haven't played that campaign part because I am having trouble mustering up the motivations for the humans, the human campaign.
Right. I think I forgot about it because there was another, because I've been playing Reverse Collapse, which is basically GFL because it's the same devs, right? Because I've been trying to get through that slowly. Because I played over like the first few chapters in the demo when that came out, and so I've been trying to just slowly chip away at it, and it's been good. That's a good game. I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I might stream it one day, but because I'm already going through the story, it might take a while. It might take a while. But hey, all right. I don't know if there's any other grass that needs to be touched. Have we touched? Well, we touched video games. We didn't really touch grass. We touched video games.
Well, I'll touch the grass for you, Naretsu. I'm living the poor and rich life simultaneously. Still.
Yeah. We got the ups and downs.
The money
of
updates.
Real life.
The greens updates.
Yeah.
The green cash money.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been hit with a surprise dentist bill, which kind of halves my money that I thought I would have at the end of the month. So that hurts. Surprise bills when you already have little money on the bank, in the bank, and meanwhile, that investment thing that I'm doing, the super boring one, is earning me more money than my groceries this month. So, in real cash money, I've earned in investment whatever rendement I've earned 130 euros, and my grocery spending is 60 at most. So double my groceries.
As long as the green numbers go up.
It hasn't been going down by 0.5% this past 2 days.
Oh no!
It's still up, over 100, so it's all fine. But yeah, it's really I'm feeling the rich get richer and the poor stay poor dynamic at the same time. Getting bills for things.
Look, you just haven't cracked the code, Ellie. You just need to do some more investing and more invest.
No.
Risky invest.
No, risky invest. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
But no, I'm
invest in Elon Musk and Tesla. That'll work.
I'm feeling the small pains of being poor, like having to stretch out your money for groceries, having to, take a hit of sudden bills you didn't expect. Watching the money. This
is why you got to get that 6-month emergency fund, right?
Yeah.
Watching that finance guy, and he's always talking about how not. What does he say, Ellie? He says not having an emergency fund is an emergency.
I haven't heard that, but
Oh yeah, he says that a lot. I've been watching some of it.
But yeah, at the same time, Naretsu, I've tossed some of my money I didn't use anyway into that investment account, and suddenly it makes me a bunch more money. So it's damn, I didn't even work for anything. So it's really a rich get richer by doing nothing, and the poor stay poor because they have more and more bills to pay that they can't always take in. And I know I'm playing pretend poor right now. I have the 10,000 6-month emergency fund thing. I have.
You're that guy. You're that. What's it, those guys? They are like, look, I'm poor, and it's like you live in like a fucking fancy mansion or some shit.
Yeah, I
gated community, fucking daddy's money, But
yeah, I started up this company by myself, and now I'm a millionaire. You can
Yeah,
do
small
it too.
small loan of $1 million, all right?
From my parents without interest.
Yeah,
That's how it
small
works.
loan of $1 million. Yeah,
But yeah,
but
no,
yeah, no.
I'm playing pretend poor. There are actual poor people who actually from whom this is a reality, not just a fun thing to do for a month. I know. It's I see now with new eyes that things are expensive, and
Mm,
at the same
mm.
time, again, getting richer is very easy if you already have a bunch of money. On that dour note, Noretsu, should we head to the video?
Yeah, we should probably start getting more weird. We're not being weird enough. We need to
No.
become invest in Hokta. Oh my god. Hang on, I'm getting DM'd again. I really need to remember to set the Discord to do not disturb for 3 hours every time we.
Oh yeah, were you disturbed by?
I was disturbed by people being like, "Hey, I wanna talk VC," and I'm like, "No, I'm on a stream right now, right now." Oh man, but anyway, so why is anime so weird, Ellie? Why? Why do you think anime is
Well,
personally?
the guy made our good friend who made that long ass video on why anime is the way it is, why Western quotation marks.
Oh yeah, that guy that ended up going fucking insane over Frieren, yeah.
No,
That
I
guy.
watched that video. It's no, I explained it a little bit, right?
No, we don't need to get. I get what you mean. We don't need to get sidetracked on that. I just wanted to bring
If
it up as a
people are interested,
meme.
I'll give a small summary of the video later if people remember by then.
But no. So yeah. So back to why is anime weird?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you? Why do you think anime is weird?
It kind of more creative freedom. The process of getting something made doesn't go through a bunch of TV stations. Networks have less creative control. That's kind of the basic thing, I guess. Just the
I would argue it's a bit of that, but I do think there is also a cultural relativism argument in that
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you had a lot of Japanese people that look at American stuff and go, "Man, that's fucking weird," right? Like, I don't know if you've heard about the King of the Hill fan base in Japan. There is apparently like a massive fan base for King of the Hill in Japan. They really love King of the Hill, apparently.
Oh, just the reverse anime weirdos.
It's just the reverse, yeah, because I think it's just because it's a window into a different creative culture, right? Like I'm not gonna say Japanese culture as a whole, but a creative culture, because obviously anime isn't the entirety of Japanese culture, right? I'm not a weeaboo, right? But I do think that because it's so different in terms of what most people are used to in the West, right? And I'm going to use the West colloquially to include, the Americas and Europe and whatnot, just because everyone does that, right? Even though it's not fully accurate, because America being America, right? But I feel like it is because it is a very different product to what people are used to, and the natural response to that is to be like, oh, that's kind of weird, that's wacky, that's not what I'm used to, that kind of thing.
Whatever it is, Naretsu, though, it's big Orientalism, a big making Japan the other, the weird.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
It literally is making Japan other by calling it weird, by calling it not normal, deviant, outside.
Right. Yeah, 5-0 never thought anime was weird. Yeah.
Only
I agree.
specific animes things were weird. And even still, the thumbnail image that I have was from one screenshot of AC Boo, who did
Mm,
scenes in Pop Team Epic, who did a little bit in the trailer for No More Heroes 3, also did Gaon Sengen.
mm.
Go, good,
Yeah,
Gaon
that's
Sengen.
that's a good one.
Yeah, and also a it's unclear, but kind of a reboot of Wacky Racers, and AC Boo did a OP. You can find
Oh
it
yeah,
on YouTube. Yeah,
yeah.
a
Sounds pretty good.
cancelled or in
Sounds.
production, one or the other, opening of Wacky Racers, and it's a nice opening. And
Mm, mm.
but just for the end result, AC Boo knows every rule in animation ever and deliberately knows when to break them.
Yeah,
It's at
that's
no
a key
point
point. Yeah.
at no point am I going from whoa, I don't know what is happening. It's oh damn, look what they are doing. And that's a big
Yeah.
difference.
Mm. All
Enough
right
about
then.
AC Boo. I like them.
It is time to crack on. It's also raining right now. I don't think it'll pick up on the mic, but
It's been storming
we've
recently here.
the weather's been fucked down here. It's like hot and cold all the time. It's fucking. I hate summer
It's mostly cold here.
because like one day it'll be like 19 fucking degrees and it'll be fucking hot as shit, and then the next day it'll be fucking like, oh yeah, it's time to rain.
Mm.
All right, well, let's get into it.
I really love anime. It can be stimulating, but often when I show it to my friends,
Intellectually stimulating.
Spelled right? I guess it is.
I
It's just
guess, yeah,
AI
it is.
something, or
No, I think it's probably something from some anime. I don't know. But anyway, let's keep going.
but often when I show it to my friends, they'll be like, "This is the show you call beautiful? You found this emotionally deep? This is intellectually stimulating for you, huh?" They'll ask
nobody
me,
does
"Why
this.
is anime so overly dramatic? Why is there so much
That's it.
internal
I
monologue?"
am being offended. Nobody. If I'm showing, look how fancy this scene is, they don't pick a different show from a different year and go, "Oh, is this what you mean?"
Mm.
If I'm
I
thinking,
feel like
if I say that, oh, Death Note is a real intellectual stimulating, they won't pull up what should I pick? What should I pick? Infinite Stratos, and go
yeah,
from.
yeah, yeah. I feel like there's a bit of. I don't want to bring up this now because I don't know if he's going to get into it, but I had a like spat on Twitter with some fucking 22-year-old kid. I had a spat on Twitter with this kid because he was talking about how like it was in the context of like wanting to have more people into anime, right? Trying to get more people into anime, and I'm just like, why? Why do you feel the need to want to seek external approval from random people, right? Because it's one of those things where, like, I get it on some level, right? You like a thing, right?
More
And
people
you
should
want to
like the
have,
thing that I like.
yeah, you want more people to like the thing that you like, and you don't want to get prejudiced because of the thing that you like, right? Like, I get it psychologically, but my problem with it is I think a lot of people try to like find that validation in the wrong places, right? Because if I introduce someone to anime and their reaction is, oh, it's weird, oh, whatever, gross, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's like I'm introducing them to something that's what's like a universally agreed upon one, like maybe Full Metal Alchemist or something, right? Like that's a
Yeah.
universally agreed upon entry level anime, right? Like even if I'm, you know, if I introduce someone to that and their response is, ooh, whatever, gross, weird, blah blah blah, I'm not gonna like continue to push the issue, right? It's like no, if you're not into it, you're not into it. You can't force people to be into anime,
No,
right?
you don't
Like
understand, Loretsu. The Emperor has the custodians who guards the Golden Throne.
you don't understand. You have to. It's so cool, but it's like no, you can't. You can't force people to be into the thing that you like, right? It doesn't work. It's never worked, right? What you have to do is you have to basically just put your feelers out, and you have to weed out the people that actually, are interested and do want to engage with the medium and might actually end up becoming fans, right?
Mm.
Instead of trying to aim your net for everyone, you should be trying to weed out people that are just like, I don't want to be mean and describe them as like lost causes, right? I know as Gouda says in the chat, tourists is like the go-to word these days for that kind of people, right? Like, I don't want to like do it in like a harsh way here, right? I'm trying to be good faith Gary or whatever, right? But it is one of those things where I feel a lot of people feel like they want to have all of this external validation for the stuff that they like, not realizing that number one, you don't necessarily need to prove yourself to other people, and also the people that like the thing exist and they're out there. You just have to go find them.
Maybe because
right?
maybe it was because I talked about money, but it kind of feels like a big line must go up mentality. There must be always be
a
more...
little bit, yeah.
And,
but it's kind of like more people good, right? Not
And I mean, I played RTS games. RTS games are no longer a thing because people stopped being into RTS games. There is a threat that your preferred media, your preferred form of entertainment, will just suddenly vanish one day. And it is also not guaranteed those games.
I mean, I encounter this all the time with gotcha games, right? Funnily enough, I mean, I'm not going to use you as an example.
No, not me.
Not even that. But like, just in general, like I encounter these people that are like they are anti-gotcha, specifically for GFL2. I talked about at the beginning of the stream, Gouda, that I've been playing the shit out of it, and I might talk about it again later at the end, in a bit more detail. But like, basically, there are people out there that are just vehemently anti-gotcha for various reasons that I think are justified on some level. The people that are like, oh, it's predatory, oh, it's this and that, oh, it's bad, blah blah blah. I'm not going to like I might push those people every now and then, but I'm not gonna like, I can't force the horse to drink the water, right? I can't force those people to give up their principles that they hold pretty strongly, right? Just because I want more people to play the gotcha game that I like, right? And I will say, I have been really happy to see a lot of people try GFL2 and end up, talking about it and liking it. It has been really good to see all the shit posts and all the memes and all the people. I've been in a couple of Discord servers where a heap of people have been getting into it and have been asking me questions, right, and all that stuff. And that does feel good, right? So I get it, right? But at the end of the day, I feel a lot of those people are going to drop off at some point, right? A lot of those people are going to end up, moving on to other things, right? And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, right? But it's the people that are going to stick around and are going to end up becoming actual fans like me. Those are the people that I'm going to hone in on, not those people that are going to drop off, right? In a sense.
Yeah, but what was it again? Fans clinging on, not staying on.
Yeah.
I guess we've done the point. I forget where we started.
Yeah. I will also say to Samu, if you want to see my Twitter debates, follow me on. That's how you can see my debates, is to follow me on Twitter. And every now and then I might pop up on your feed in the middle of like retweeting copious amounts of hentai. I will show up and arguing with people. I don't argue with people as much as I used to, but like every now and then I'll jump in and be like, oh yeah, here's my 2 cents on something, and it leads to some nonsense. This happens because many kids were bullied in school for liking anime, and they don't feel okay like it. Yeah, that is part of it. That was part of my conversation with that guy too, because the guy on Twitter was like, oh, I live in Poland and I got harassed and assaulted for liking anime, and I'm like, all right. I'm like, all right.
Okay, I mean,
but anywho,
these days you don't have to project your own feelings on the younger generations in that sense. It's a new time. It's a new era.
So anywho, let's continue.
Why are there so many crazy hairstyles? Why is anime so weird? When I was first getting into anime, this kind of question made me feel defensive. How dare you insult a thing I like? Clearly, the anime you watch and the anime I watch are totally different. Mine would never be weird. But over time, I began to see things differently. I instead became curious about why this is a common reaction. And over the years, I learned more. And over the years, I learned Japanese culture. And through all that, I learned that
It was a
pretty
little
much
bit
all
weird of a. It's skipping a little bit back and forth suddenly. I'm now seeing animation
is it?
principles, the studio dynamics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Yeah.
Alright.
Hang on. Let me try like pulling it back a bit. and
Yeah,
then
before
maybe that'll
when
leave.
went all fancy sideways and in zooming.
Alright, there you go, let's try that.
Mine would never be weird. But over time, I began to see things differently. I instead became curious about why this is a common reaction. Principles, industry dynamics, and Japanese culture. And through all that, I learned that pretty much all the things that make anime weird are there for a reason. They solve problems that I didn't even know I had with other animation. And they're the backbone for why those beautiful, deep, and smart moments are able to impact me so much. So for this video, what I want to do is look at a number of things that people find weird about anime. Look at the reasons for... look at a number of things that people find weird.
Are you getting the skips?
No, I'm not. I don't know what's going on. Maybe you need to refresh the tab or something. Reconnect to thingy.
I can do it quick. Just because there are.
Because I am seeing it on the stream. Because I'm watching the stream, so I am seeing it. But
yeah, it's a bit odd. So I'm not too pleased.
While you do that, I'll engage with the chat. Anime manga IMO is for everyone. The issue is we have morons who demand it to clearly cater to them instead of finding another series. I need to uglify waifus because I think they're too attractive and don't match my vision of reality. The rot destroying the industry. Also, I must demand that one-dimensional characters be
really
inserted
think that
into a series just for tokenism and for self-insert.
Paula, you should really ease up on the culture war stuff. It's not that deep.
No, I think he's making a good point. I think he's making a good point. I mean, Ali, I don't think it's good to dismiss stuff as just it's just culture war stuff.
Nah, but
dismissal. No, because I think he is making a good point because those people do exist, right?
Yeah, but
there are people out there. There are people out there that are like, I mean, we've covered people on the show before, right? That are like, this thing isn't what I wanted it to be, therefore it's bad because it's not. It's something that I like. The thing is something that I didn't, it's not the thing I wanted, right? And that makes it bad. Not engaging with the thing on its own merits, right? Which is a problem I see in a lot of people.
I mean, we had this small conversation in parts before where, people can like a thing in its whole, but don't like the one thing, and therefore.
Oh yeah, we're not rehashing that again. We've rehashed that a million times. But it's like, but this is different than that though. This is not like, I like something about the show and then I hate all these other things. No, this is literally the show is not what I thought it was going to be, and I hate the fact that it's not what I want it to be. It's like different attitudes.
It's always hard to read how angry somebody is at something. Sometimes it's from.
I don't think it's about anger. I think it's just like that's a mentality people have. Like,
but how you should. You do a lot of culture, a lot of typing about.
Don't worry, Goda. I got your back. I won't let Ali silence you. I've got your back. I've got your back, Goda. Don't worry. No, right. Anyway, so let's see if it's skipping still. We might have to find a solution.
Okay. Look at the reason.
Oh, actually, I should talk about why I paused because I paused because he had all his points up on the screen, and I wanted to. Hang on.
Maybe it's.
Shit. Hang on.
Beautiful, deep, and smart moments me so much. So for this video, what I want to do is look at a number of things that people find weird about.
Okay, this is what I actually wanted to pause for, right? So, why is the lip sync so bad in anime? Why does anime sound weird? Why is time weird in anime? Why are anime eyes so big? Why does anime have so much internal monologue? why are colors in anime so weird? Why does anime have such bad anime? What the fuck? And why are the hairstyles so weird?
Like 5 of these 8 is immediately because it comes from a manga where you have thought bubbles, where you have
Yeah,
art styles, where you have to.
it's like Ellie, you're reading a book, right? A
Mhm.
novel, not like a manga, right?
Yeah, book.
That's gonna have a lot of like, depending on the perspective, right? You're gonna have a lot of internal monologue. You're going to have a narrator
Yeah.
narrating the story, right? An internal monologue of a narrator as to describe what's happening in the book, so that you can imagine it in your head, right? Man, why is there so much internal monologue in my novel, right?
Why is so many setup? Why can scene
Yeah,
dressings?
Why are they spending like a whole paragraph describing like what a desert looks like? You know what I mean? Like, so I agree with you. A lot of these kind of are like, these are also things that I don't think I've seen a lot of people talking about lip sync, right?
No, and
Like,
sound weird,
like
or is it just
it's sound,
the
yeah.
character sounds?
Like 9 times out of 10, right? And this could be confirmation bias, right? When people talk about anime being weird, they're usually talking about like sexual content, right?
Mhm.
Sexual content, or character ages, the high school obsession stuff, as we've covered in a past stream, right?
The
Like
cultural jokes from this and
the cultural jokes, like that's usually what people like. I don't see a lot of people these days, right, talking about, oh, why are the hairstyles so weird, right?
More
Like
like
that
hair colors at most.
well, that seems like something that was a thing, like, I don't know, back when I was in high school, right? But like these days I'm not
20 years ago.
really yeah, these days I'm not so.
Also, the anime, the eyes aren't that big anymore. It's like,
Well, the eyes just depends on the style, right? Like
also,
the
but
yeah, like
even without
yeah.
even taking the most shoujo show that there is, those eyes aren't very big anymore. Also,
Yeah, I'm I feel like this is dodging the elephant in the room a little bit, right? By not talking about the sexualization element and the content, right? I feel like he's kind of looking at these like superficial level criticism. Well, superficial level criticisms, like, I guess they're criticism,
I
right?
mean, right, so
I don't. Well, they're not even really criticism, right? Because it's literally just asking questions. So it's not like, oh, why is it weird?
Alright,
Right?
so you are the debater here.
Debate, man.
What is this kind of setting up the easy questions so you can answer them and solve the
Oh,
problem?
it's not straw manning.
No,
Because he's not. No, it's not that. Because he'd have to be fighting an argument to straw man. This is something else. This is,
red
yeah,
herring something.
Nah, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the technical term would be for it as a fallacy, but this is definitely like. I would just describe it as avoiding the elephant in the room in the discussion,
Isn't
right?
it kind of a
Because
red herring to distract you from a main point? And
yeah,
this
because
feels like a bit of a distraction.
yeah, because I feel like he's doing he's doing a disservice by not bringing up the sexual content element of it, because I do know that is one thing that a lot of people say is what makes anime weird, right? Especially when you're talking about Americans, which I mean, we could talk about the hypocrisy and whatnot, whatever. But in general, right, there tends to be this like puritanism that shows
yeah,
up.
no,
In
so
the
I
West.
recently came across some person who said a kid might see this, talking about anime. But
I mean, we had that with Explanation Point when he was talking about gushing over magical girls in his video, and I had a rant about it.
yeah, but the thing is, right? So I don't know if I checked then, but it's safe to assume that all anime that we are watching air at midnight.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Past
Yeah,
midnight.
we
So
we looked up. Yeah,
the fear of the children seeing the anime is, on the TV is minimal.
Not even just at midnight. A lot of them air on like paid TV channels
Also,
as
or
well. So
midnight and paid.
Yeah, so it's, and then if it's online, it's like, yeah, you need to pay the subscription, and then usually there'll be age
Yeah,
ratings and
that's
stuff.
the internet does throw a kind of a wrench in the whole children
I think
midnight
I
thing.
think
But
if a kid, look, at the end of the day, if a kid is determined enough, they will find a way to do it, right? That, like,
in the
let's
end,
be real here. If they're determined enough, but that's not what's being like. When people do the think of the children, oh, they might watch this argument. They're not talking about, oh, this kid literally taught themselves how to torrent just so that they could watch High School DxD or something, right? Like, they're talking about, like, oh, this is airing on TV, or this is airing on Crunchyroll or High Dive or whatever, right? And oh, a starry-eyed little youngster who's on High Dive might accidentally, like, bump into Gushing Over Magical Girls. And I've said it before. I said it in the last streams that it came up. I don't buy that argument. I think it's bullshit. I think it's absolute nonsense. And I don't think that we should censor the entirety of anime just to cater to this nonsense idea that, people can't fucking... Okay, before we move on, this has been a tagline I've been using on Twitter, Ellie. This is my new, like, catchphrase. I've been saying it a lot, right? Ellie, you control the pixels on your screen. You control the pixels on the screen, okay? If you see anime titty and you don't want to see anime titty, look, you can block that anime titty. You can close the tab. You can open a new window. You can turn the screen off, right? You control the pixels on your screen.
On a
That is...
You kind of...
But you do though.
Wow.
Like, especially if we're talking about Twitter, right? Because on Twitter, there's like fucking a million filters and shit you can do on Twitter to block shit. So I'm kind of like,
I'm just,
you know,
I'm thinking Naretsu, and I'm this flaw, I guess, is that also kind of depends what other people do. You can't... You're placing all the responsibility of all the concern of everything that they see onto the person themselves. I don't control what commercials come my way on YouTube or elsewhere. Is it my responsibility
you technically do, because you can install an ad blocker. So you
on YouTube
you technically do.
YouTube,
yeah, you technically
and elsewhere.
Well, no, you just install it. This is what I mean. You install an ad blocker, or you just buy YouTube Red,
or,
right? If you don't
or
want to
walking
use an ad
on
blocker.
the streets and elsewhere in Naretsu.
Yeah, no, but when you're walking on the street, you're not controlling the fucking billboards, obviously. But on a computer, you are controlling the pixels that are on your screen.
No, but that's
you literally can move them around. You literally control the pixels on your screen, Ellie.
But you don't control the algorithm that much. I've tried. Doesn't really work.
No, but you can't. But you could also choose to just not engage with the algorithm. You can just block things. You can fight against it. You have the capacity to fight against it, Ellie.
I am not.
You have the capacity.
I'm not completely convinced of its surefire owning the debate power.
You can just not use YouTube. There you go. Yeah, Gouda's right. Just fuck off from YouTube.
I'm not completely
Actually,
convinced.
isn't there like I'm pretty sure, isn't there like, because I remember people were making like special like YouTube API scrapers or whatever that would allow you to watch YouTube videos on like an external site or something. I'm trying to remember what that was. Like, I don't know if that's allowed or not. But that's my point, right? It's like, if there is a will, there is a way, and you can control the pixels on your screen. So anyway,
yeah, but
we
also
should get back
other people can also do the same and make you see it in the end.
No, I don't. No, I don't think people could force you to view stuff on. Ellie, cyberbullying isn't real. Turn off the screen. Cyberbullying isn't real. Turn off the screen.
It has become real because internet has become way more important part of our lives.
Oh, so now you're saying that Twitter people exist, eh?
I say cyberbullying exists.
Now you're saying that. Oh, you say Twitter people are real now, Ellie? Are they real?
Nah, I was thinking more of WhatsApp groups and whatnot. But
I'm no, I'm fine with you. Look, we just have a disagreement about this, but it doesn't matter. Let's continue.
Anime, look at the reasons for why they're like that, and then show how those reasons work together to get experiences that you can't get outside of anime. And for that conversation, we need to start at the fundamentals. If you want to be able to properly understand anime, it's essential that you understand this book. This is
Shonen
Weekly
Jump.
Shonen Jump, one of the best-selling publications in the world.
So
And nearly
let's
every anime
let's
is
go
an
for it. I mean, at least
adaptation.
he's not doing like we have to go back to 5000 BC
mhm.
to think. Yeah, I am noticing it's being weird on the jumps because it's like when I pause, maybe there's like a desync going on. We might just have to deal with
usually
it. For now.
it often does a tiny jump when you resume. That's a thing that has been since the dawn of time on this channel. But the random jumps while it's playing, that's new this episode.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how we go. If it's a big problem, we'll have to figure something out. But that's good.
The best-selling publications in the world. And nearly every anime is an adaptation of a comic that was originally published in magazines like this one. Every week a new edition.
I mean, you got light novels. Dating sims aren't a real thing anymore, but anime came from those.
I feel like putting all the onus on Shonen Jump is. I get it. It's the most popular, and it tends to produce
Also,
the most
you have
popular shows, right?
Free Run and I believe that Free Run and Fullmetal Alchemist came from the same magazine.
I would have to check that. I don't know.
And that isn't Shonen Jump.
Weekly Shonen Sunday. I feel like he would have been better served if he had just been like, oh yeah, Shonen Jump, but also like all manga and all light novels.
Yeah, I mean,
but maybe he'll talk about them. We'll let him cook, I guess. Maybe he will bring it up. But like, I feel like putting all the onus on Jump, right? Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that. But yeah, let's see what he says. Let's see what he says because he's not done yet.
With a single chapter from around 20 different series. But these series are not all equal. At the top are global hits that have been in the magazine for years and get highly acclaimed movie and TV adaptations. May not have the staying power to reach international.
Lorenzo, can you pause and go 5 seconds back and play again?
Okay.
That was a weird mid-play jump.
Magazine for years and get highly acclaimed movie and TV adaptations. Then there's series that have been around a year or two and managed to get an anime, but may not have the staying power to reach international audiences. But over half of the magazine is filled with series that are less than a year old, occupying spots that were vacated when other series were cancelled. Looking at every series that's been in the magazine since 1980, we can see that very few managed to stick to become some of the most popular IPs in the world. In this extremely boom or bust,
I would argue there's also been quite a bit of a Jump's been evolving quite a lot in the last 10 years.
It's been very Jump recently.
I hope something else that he needs to bring up is the fact that the online version of Jump is now a thing, and they've been moving a lot of manga over to that.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit more diversity, but yeah, you're right.
Because that's why because I believe Spy X Family and Chainsaw Man are I think they're exclusive to the online Jump publication now. I think because and I think that is actually something that you do need to bring up now when you're talking about this because let's be real, Spy X Family and Chainsaw Man are two of the biggest fucking Jump mangas outside of the big hitters. Right.
One Piece, specifically.
Yeah, One Piece and the Borutos and My Hero Academia ended, but that's again it's there's a big evolution going on at Jump, right? Because not only do you have this transitional move into the digital realm with it, right? But you also have a lot of the big names ending, right? A lot of the big names, you can even kind of see it, sort of here where you've got certain series kind of ending over time.
It
right?
does feel that I see a lot. I see kind of a big cluster that's still ongoing in Shonen Jump at the top.
this is not really a very informative graph. Because I don't actually understand. I don't actually understand this. Is it
When
like
it started and if it's still ongoing until this point.
yeah? It does. Yeah, there's no why. I don't really. It's hard to read this. I'm not a fan of this. I don't like this. But my point here is basically that Kaiju 8 is 2-chapter monthly cycle too. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, because that's one of the reasons Jump Plus is considered to be quite good right now is it's got a flexible schedule, so mangakas are not literally fucking killing themselves to try and produce weekly manga. And apparently it's been quite successful, right? So Gouda's on point in the chat with what he's saying about this. So it's kind of like there's an evolution going on in Jump. And I think he should probably talk about that if he's going to talk about Jump as a whole and how influential Jump is on anime, right? But
I don't feel
see.
that's the
Oh, yeah,
direction.
unless you've got something to add.
I don't feel that's the direction.
Yeah, I don't feel a direction here either. This is feeling a bit off jilt.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And I'm still getting.
But let's see what he says.
I have been getting the jumps again. Maybe it's just bear through this time, and maybe we'll have to replace the watch together.
Maybe. What if you try controlling the video? Maybe
I can try.
solve it.
But it looks ugly when the bar pops up on below.
Well, it's that or it
in the world.
skips.
In this extremely boom or bust environment, the average series only has around 20 chapters to make enough impact on the audience to not get canceled. Stand out from their competitors. Imagine, briefly.
Oh yeah, I saw it happen then. Yeah, did it just happen then?
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, that's kind of... Maybe it's a you problem.
I refreshed. It can't be my fault. Unless I
it can't be my fault.
Can't be, but I can't exactly restart the browser because I'm live streaming.
Yeah, shit.
I'm afraid we might have to bear through it and maybe just we get the point,
deal with
I
it.
guess.
Yeah. Well, again, so I have a comment here about style versus substance. Because I mentioned before his graphs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how his graphs don't indicate what do you mean? This is meant to be number of chapters?
Yeah, before
right?
it got axed.
But again, there's no indication of that as a visual cue, right? If he had the traditional XY axis and it was number of chapters versus time, then I would be able to interpret this properly, right? But because it's a bit, I can't. Maybe it's because I'm autistic, right? Maybe it's the autism, right? But it's I don't like how vague this is, right? Because he's making these statements about these manga need to only have about 20 chapters to make an impact, right? Before most of them get cancelled, right? And whatnot. But the data on screen is a bit confusing, right? I'm not a fan of this. But anyways, continue.
Series only has around 20 chapters to make enough impact on the audience to not get cancelled. Series that survive do so because they manage to stand out from their competitors. Imagine, briefly, that you're trying to become a popular comic book author in Japan. If you manage to get published in this magazine, you're directly competing for space with a series that outsells Stephen Movies outsell Christopher Nolan. How can you make a big enough impact quickly?
So, I kind of get the point that he's making. I kind of get it, but I'm like,
oh wait, no, I see Naruto. I see the future. Future sight.
Future sight time.
The ability long lost but now returned. He's going to say that One Piece is weird. That manga have to be weird to survive, to get noticed.
Right. They have to do something to be interesting. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see if you're correct.
A big enough impact quickly so people will stick around to see your larger plots. Well, if you're Tatsuki Fujimoto, you open with a giant tomato monster and a dude holding a chainsaw-powered dog. So...
I mean... Okay. To be fair with Chainsaw Man and Fujimoto, he was weird way fucking before... Because I don't know, because if you've read any of his other works, right? Because he has other manga and he has other works out. Like, I mean, Fire Punch, for example, right? Like, if you've actually, you know, if you, so you control the pixels on your screen because your allowance of jumping. I mean, yeah, I control the pixels on the screen. But anyway, no, because you had you had Fire Punch, right? He has a number of one shots that are quite wacky, right? Like he's a wacky dude. If you ever like read his interviews, like he's just a bit of a goofball. He's a bit of a fucking weirdo, right? So I don't really think that he like because the accusation is right. Using your future sight and assuming that is what he's going to say, right? The accusation is manga need to be weird because they need to make an impact so that they can stay alive, basically, right? I don't think Fujimoto went into Chainsaw Man with the intent to make it deliberately weird so that he can keep the manga alive, right? I think it's more a case. This is the problem with projecting your views onto authors, right? Because if he had like an actual interview, here's the thing: if he had like interviews from authors, right, that he could bring up on screen and go, "Hey, authors have said I made this manga weird because I didn't want to get cancelled." Or I this is why I made the manga the way it is. This is why I started it like this with this particular like story format, right? So and so and so and so, right? Then that would make his point, and that would be great, right? And he'd be able to prove his point with actual evidence of manga authors stating the thing that he's saying is true, right?
Or he could rephrase it to interject. He could rephrase it the same, saying, "Hey, I think this is weird, and I think these other things are weird. The thing that I'm seeing is that these manga chapters start weird, and that I think is a contributor to their success."
I've made an observation about it. Yeah, because right now he's making this like factual claim that this is why the authors did this.
Yeah,
right.
There's always
and I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't think you should avoid projecting like intent to the authors, prescribing intent, as I like to say it on the show, right? I don't think you should prescribe intent to an author, right? You can make an assumption about it, right? You can make a hypothesis about it. You can kind of say, hey, I think maybe the author intended this, right? That's an okay statement because you're just saying this is what you think, right? But when you go, no, Fujimoto deliberately made the opening to Chainsaw Man quote unquote weird because he didn't want Chainsaw Man to get cancelled, right? Right? That's where I'm kind of like drawing a line and I'm saying, no, that's not okay, right? That's a problem. But yeah, let's see where, because he's going to tie this back into anime now, I think.
Yeah.
So
why is anime so weird? In part, it's due to survivorship bias. The only series that can survive long enough to become anime are the ones that are weird enough to stand out. As I flip
exactly
through
what
this
I
magazine.
said.
Yeah, exactly. So he is making the survivor. Yeah, as he said, survivor bias, right? Like the weird ones are the only ones that survive, right? Which I don't. But here's the thing. I don't necessarily think it's that they're weird. I would argue that it's because they're interesting, right? Because Chainsaw Man is very different to a lot of Shonen Jump type stories, right? Like, because you have story like My Hero Academia, right, is a very traditional shonen, right?
Yeah.
It's very much, hey, person with no power gets given a power, has to train to use the power, goes through the different, typical arcs, right? You have your tournament arc, you have your, friends become enemies arc, you have your ups and downs, highs and lows,
Rival
right? Big power up.
love interest.
Yeah, character arcs. Yeah, big, training arcs, right? And then you have big boss fight arcs, right? And so, right? It is very much like playing to the formula of a shonen, right? As what people perceive as the shonen formula. Chainsaw Man doesn't really do that, right? Chainsaw Man is like a fucking fever dream. At least when you read, like, the first one, not the current one that's currently airing now. Well, not airing, I should say, but being put out now, right? The current Chainsaw Man versus Chainsaw Man 1, right? Because if you read Chainsaw Man 1, right, and if you read it all in one go, like I did, right, it is very much like a fever dream. The pacing is super fucking fast. People are dying like every 5 pages, right? The shit's going on like really quickly. It's hard, it could be a little bit hard to keep up with it sometimes. It's shit's going so quickly, right? It's not following the traditional format of a Shonen Jump manga, right? It goes through these like periods of like, Denji is like has a goal and he's trying to do the goal. Oh, he got the goal, but the goal didn't really fulfill him, right? And now he has to do another thing. But in the meantime, midst of doing that, this demon shit is happening, and he has to react to what's happening around him, right? While dealing with stuff. He doesn't really go through like he does kind of have a training arc, but it's not really a training arc, right? Like, kind of does, but he doesn't, right? Like my point is, I don't think that Chainsaw Man became popular because it's weird in the sense of it being, weird content-wise. I think it became popular because it's interesting and it's different, right? It's not the same kind of thing. And I think Jump recognized that, which is partly why they probably shot it off to the Jump Plus, right? Because they recognized, oh, this is different, this is popular. We have this new, different format online, right? Let's try it out on there and see if it works, right? Take the popularity of Chainsaw Man and move it over to Jump Plus to give it a kickstart, right? Oh.
Yeah, I am. No, I'm happy. I'm right. Yay.
Yeah, you're happy. Yeah, because you don't watch or read a lot of these Shonen Jump things, right? So you're not like. I know a little bit more about this than you do because I've actually read Chainsaw Man and I've watched My Hero Academia, right? So I can kind of comment on.
I've read and know the end of and whatnot. I've read beyond the second season of Oshinoko, so I can tell you all about.
Yeah, isn't it kind of like Tokyo Ghoul? It's like a breath of fresh air. Yeah, kind of, right? Yeah, it's not the same. It's not samey, right? And there's nothing like there are other like Shonen Jump manga that you could argue are like, they follow the formula, but they're still good, right? They're not doing anything particularly weird, but they're popular because they're just good, right? And so it's kind of one of those things where I think he's conflating weird with different, right?
Yeah, I do. I remembered. I wanted to mention something quickly. We mentioned this before, right? Magazines have each magazine has their own style, and they can get rejected from a magazine because it doesn't fit the style. Jump has a style, and it really sounds like that Chainsaw Man got in despite it having a different style, and suddenly, oh no, hey look, it's interesting, something different in this magazine that always has the same
that reminds me, I should probably get into reading the you heard about that Drama Queen manga?
Oh,
that's the one that's all about racism.
No.
Okay, so the TLDR.
What's the title?
Oh, it is, but yeah. People in the chat will probably know what I'm talking about because it's been all over Twitter because people have been screaming about it. It's basically aliens come to Earth. Aliens sort of soft invade, where they're like, "Hey, we'll give you all this technology. You just have to let us like live on your planet or whatever."
So it's America.
Yes, unironically, yes. There is a manga panel, right, where the guy is like, "Yeah, these aliens are kind of cool, but I wish they'd just kind of fuck off."
Yeah, imperial colonialism,
and it's very much like it. People have been kind of saying, "Oh, it's talking about refugees and immigrants and whatnot." It's like, no, it feels more like it's talking about McCarthyism, right? Feels more like it's talking about, oh, America comes in, changes the government, gives Japan all this technology, does all this stuff, and then just won't fuck off, right?
Yeah,
Basically,
that sounds very American.
But I think what ends up happening is the main character's like sister. I haven't read it right, and so I might be wrong. But the main character's sister gets like killed by an alien, but then no one wants to do anything because the aliens are so nice. The alien would never do this. Aliens are so cool. And then the guy like meets another fella who's like a giga racist, and they like start eating the aliens or something. They're like it's something like it is kind of wacky, and it sounds wacky and kind of interesting. But most of the conversation about it has been about like, is it racist? Is it racist, Ellie? Is it based? Is it going to be a based racist anime for the chuds? Oh,
I'm hearing colonialism. I'm hearing imperialism. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I've been the vibing too. I'll probably give it a read at some point. But yeah, people have been like losing their shit over it because they're like, what did the author mean by this?
Well, that you can decide for yourself.
Yes, and funny fact about the author, I believe the author of it is a assistant to Fujimoto. Because what's been happening is
so
Fujimoto.
Many people are apparently.
Yeah, that's been the funny thing is a lot of like Fujimoto's assistants have been like, they've been like branching off to do their own things after they leave being his assistant. Like it's almost like Fujimoto is like fucking fathering a new generation of Shonen Jump authors.
I am pretty sure that has happened before, but I don't know any
names. No, it has definitely happened before. It's definitely not a new thing.
Anyway, let's go.
Yeah, I'm just on Manga Dex right now, checking what my updates are. I got to get back to reading manga. It's been a while. But anywho, let's continue. Oh, hang on, sorry.
Now, Project, you can actually answer a number of things that people find weird about anime. Like, why are the hairstyles so weird? But there is a little more to explain. Specifically, notice that it's all in...
No, okay. Sorry, it was skipping a bit, so it was funny.
Yeah. Oh, okay, well, I'll take it back a little bit, just to...
really answer a number of things that people find weird about anime. Like, why are the hairstyles so weird? But there is a little more to explain with this one, and it has to do with the print quality of this magazine. Specifically, notice that it's all in black paper. How do you think this might affect...
in paper?
I don't know if that's like... Oh, let's let him cook. I want to hear his full explanation for this.
What kinds of character designs work? Drawings that are too complex can have a lot of the detail and intricacy lost by this lower print quality. But if you try to address this by simplifying your character design, your different characters the audience to be able to tell them apart. One metric Western animators.
Sorry, skipping is kind of bad and funny.
Oh, fuck. I can see it too. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there with the watch together. Maybe I'll try doing a refresh.
I assume simple faces have to be differentiated, and that they do that with wacky hair.
Okay. Alright, I have reconnected, so I'll see if it's me.
See loss by this lower print quality. But if you try to address this by simplifying your characters...
Yeah, so his basic point is basically anime characters are simplified because simplified characters work better in print.
I can believe that, though. It's not a...
Which I can believe too, and he's making the point there, but if you go too far, then it becomes indistinguishable from
Although
each
there
other.
is, of course, always the thing that there are very pretty panels being made, despite the supposed terrible quality of the paper. So I'm not sure how... I'm feeling, Naretsu, it's less about print quality and more of we have to make a new chapter every week.
Yeah, we have to... did you know Naruto was supposed to have goggles?
I've heard that.
Instead of having a head... Yeah, instead... Yeah, this is a famous story, so... it's basically Naruto was supposed to have goggles. And you can see that in like a lot of the early artwork for Naruto, and in some of the early chapters, he has these goggles on.
Oh yeah, for one thumbnail, Naretsu, way back when, I had an image of Naruto, anime, stealing some scroll, and he had goggles on his head. Goggles, I don't remember.
But the author mentions like the reason they dropped that, and he has the headband, is because the goggles were a pain in the fucking ass to draw every week. so they had to simplify the design and give him the headband.
Was it
because
also
he could-
not the case with Sandland from Toriyama? You know, Dragon Ball.
Could be. It's
He
like,
had,
yeah,
you know-
basically it was, yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
only got like half of this, right? Because he said he did a thing with the tank and he liked drawing for video games because he only needed to draw it once. That makes me leads me to believe that at the end he absolutely hated to draw Sandland because it had that fucking tank in every angle.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But anyways, continue.
Your different characters can become indistinguishable from each other, where they all look too generic for the audience to be able to tell them apart. One metric Western animators use for making characters distinct is the outline test. The idea here being you try to make different characters different shapes, so even at a glance they have these super recognizable.
Yeah, silhouetting, basically. Yeah. I know what this is, yeah.
I see pop up every now and again.
It's just a general art character design.
Yeah,
theory
but I do
thing.
feel that the Japan does it too, right? There's
Yeah. I don't really think this is like. I don't think Japan is like doing anything different. I mean, you look at Goku, you look at Naruto, you look at Bleach, right? They all have relatively unique silhouettes, right? So
even the Goku and the Vegeta. Vegeta has the pointy hair, and Goku has the spiky going everywhere hair.
when people do the outline test with Kevin Blue Archive, no one expects the Opie lolly. Yeah, right. Anyway,
exaggerated body proportions to do this, which solves the problem really well, but introduces its own problems. Anime often likes doing real-life accurate choreography, which you can't do with unnaturally shaped characters like this. Therefore, you generally see anime characters drawn in a way that lines up well with take unrealistically sized characters seriously.
Yeah. This is just simple art theory
We
stuff.
can't take odd shaped characters.
But I
seriously.
don't really see how this like relates to why anime is weird though. He hasn't tied it into the point yet, so
Yeah,
I'm
but
kind of
this is
waiting
now
for him
from
to do that.
more of a anime has weird hair because otherwise they all look the same. Somehow.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm
But
getting to.
they're
Yeah.
like
Size.
I've forgotten Naruto, but I would be able back when I was watching the Attack on Titan, I would be able to recognize every single character from the silhouette. The tall one is the one, and Historia, the girl, is over there next to her. Then then what is it? The tallest one is that guy, and the big one on the side is that Anji is supposed to be. I think is with there. Mikasa is on the right of the middle three. I believe that Eren is in the middle, and was it Armin? Armin is on the left.
Yeah.
You can tell silhouette.
Yeah. Alright, let's continue.
Sized characters seriously. So mature shows will often prioritize realistic proportions above easily recognizable shapes. Now, of course, weird outlines are. If you look at shows like Archer or Young Justice, you can see that characters are.
Archer or Young Justice or Young Justice or Young Justice.
Yeah. Yeah, Watch Together's having a bit of a fucking hissy fit today. We might have to find a different solution. I mean, you could. There is like the YouTube watch. I was thinking about that, but you have to like sign into YouTube on Discord, and I don't want to do that. So because the YouTube has like a built-in Watch Together thing, but it's a bit. You have to sign it, and I think it shows you ads as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we'll bear
I've
through
used
it this time and watch Young Justice or Young Justice.
Yeah, you're Young Justice of the Justice, yeah.
Are still really distinguishable from each other, but instead of unique shapes, characters have really different colors and clothing. But a lot of anime can't use this.
Different colors and clothing.
Yeah. I mean, like in a manga, this is the problem with him like bringing the manga into this, right? Because it's like, in a manga where it's black and white, that's a problem, right? But in anime, it's not. It doesn't matter, right? So they don't
Because some of the most common settings for anime.
Just quick, right? The show that's airing this season, 300 and how many? 53 days.
Something.
to Marriage or Days to Marriage, right? Whole year. Days
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Marriage.
the marriage one.
Those are all normal people with office jobs.
Yeah.
They all have somewhat other, they all wear suits and dress, so, the stereotypical skirts, whatnot. And oh, look, it's him, and he is fat, and he is thin, and he is slick with his slick hair, and he has a little bit of messy hair, and
different body types,
and different body types, different colors, different color suits, different colored dresses. Those are different colors and different whatever clothing. That's how they were differentiate. Even I guess Watamote, not Watamote. The show with adults one. Watakoi. That's it. Watakoi is a show about 4 adults in their early mid-30s, looks like, maybe late 20s, doing office jobs, and then after office jobs doing gaming or cosplay or whatever. Their office clothings are office clothings as office clothing you can get, but they have different colors, different shapes, different styles. I don't. Naretsu, he's doing the big Orientalism by deliberately making Japan more weird than it is. Japan is being super normal here.
Yeah.
The whole of Japan is being very normal by picking these types of clothing for these characters. The entirety of Japan.
All right, let's continue.
Schools, sports, and the military all have mandatory uniforms that will make every character look the same. The combined restrictions of having pretty uniform body shapes and pretty uniform uniforms, I think, makes it natural the way to distinguish characters that's pretty unique to anime. And what that is trying to make characters entirely unique and differentiable just based on the face. So that usually involves really wild and bizarre hairstyles and very detailed eyes. The common question you'll hear is, why are anime eyes so big?
Okay, so
he's done with the hair, but I'm not convinced.
He's done with the hair, and now he's transitioning into the eyes.
I mean, what's Storm, right? Storm, DC, Storm, comic book Storm. Storm has big hair. Very big hair. Big as clouds, as one might say. Then you have something like Widowmaker. Widowmaker has a long ponytail. This is not a thing. This is not a differentiating point. What makes anime weirder than anything else? Saria has pink hair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Now you might think we'd be able to use the same logic as we used for hairstyles earlier, but you actually can't. And that's because anime eyes aren't actually big. Like, sure, they're bigger than eyes are in real life, but they're not even bigger than Western animation, say. Like, here, if we line up a bunch of characters from a bunch of characters...
Or same size.
I think that... I get what he's saying, though, right? I do get where he's coming from, but it is actually interesting because anime eyes are technically more... I mean, it obviously depends on the style, but there is a... fuck, how can I, explain this in a way that makes sense? I'm gonna have to, draw something for you, to kind of explain what I mean. Let me see if I can, I know what I'll do. I'll grab a screenshot of the video, and then I'll draw on it with my mouse, right? And then send it to you. Because typically when you do an eye, right, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or something like that. And then you have that, and then no, that's bad. Yeah, I'm doing live. I don't have my drawing tablet. It's drawing with a fucking mouse. Oh, I think print screen just crashed.
Everything is crashing.
fucking snippet stretch just crashed. Oh wait, no, wait. There we go. Oh, it kind of worked. Okay. I have to try and get this to fucking do what I want it to do. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it's like we'll just say that works. Okay. So let me just send this to you, and you bring it up on screen, and then I'll explain what I'm talking about here. So this is like a stylized eye, right? And I'll actually go back a little bit on the video to when he had where was it? It was I gotta find it. Hang on.
They're bigger than eyes are.
That worked. There we go. Right. So so what we have here, right, is so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So those are the lines of the eye, right? So if you look at like the eye of the character from the anime, right? You can clearly see if you start from 1, right? You can clearly see like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Each of those lines on the eye. And if you look really closely at our boy Tom Cruise here, right, you can actually sort of see that. Like, it's not like the easiest way to draw an eye is not actually to do like a solid curve, right? It's to actually do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sort of technique on an eye, right? Because you're basically creating the structure of the eyelid and the and how an eye is like the eyebrows, the eyelashes, right, and all that kind of stuff, right? Part of the construction of the face, right? And so with anime, basically what they're doing is they're taking that same rule of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, right, for the eye, and then exaggerating it. So you might have like different characters. I'll go back a little bit more here, right? Here, right? Where instead of it being kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, you do have kind of like that 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom. There's another line to kind of separate, to create kind of like a fold in the skin, right? And then you have 1 on the bottom. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you miss the 5, right?
Because her eyes are half closed.
Yeah, but that's part of it too. If her eyes were fully open, then maybe you would have that extra 5th line, right?
I mean, I can.
In the eye.
My mouse doesn't show up on this scene, I think.
Well, didn't you used to be able to draw on the screen?
Yeah, I haven't. My pen is out. But,
oh no!
And I haven't started up the drawing thing. But Naretsu, I just want to say, you can see, behind her eyebrows, you can see her eye socket shadow thing.
Yeah.
And those are there. There are your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. If you kind of draw.
Yeah. So you see what I mean, right? So like, I'm just gonna skip back to where we were, right? It's kind of I'll wait for him to bring up like another eye, and then I might talk about this in more detail because it is actually interesting, right? It is interesting how anime eyes are constructed because it's actually a very like realistic kind of way to construct an eye compared to like The Simpsons here, right? Where it's just a circle and a dot, right? Which is extremely simplistic, right? But yeah, let's hear what he has to say.
Line up a bunch of characters from Western cartoons and from anime. Look at the size of the eyes. Heck, Homer's eyes are bigger than most of these anime characters'
Homer
heads.
is way bigger in this.
Now, fairly enough here. You could
that's a big. I don't feel like that's a fair comparison. Yeah, it's a bit. Because you have to because you have to like realistically proportion them, and you have to do it's not
fairly enough here. You could point out that it's unfair because the anime characters have smaller heads.
Oh,
and sure, we can instead.
Oh, look, here we go. He's doing it. Look, there you go. So you see with Naruto here, right?
Mr. Naruto.
If you start at the corner of the eye, right, on his right eye, right, you've got 1, the bottom line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 distinct sort of points you can see on the eye, right? Even if it's like all one stroke, you can see the construction of it. And then with Homer, it's just a circle and a dot, right? So there is an interesting like bit of art theory going on there. That I find pretty good. Also, Death Parade mentioned, Death Parade's good shit.
Never watched it.
Let's see. It's good. It's really good. I actually really liked. I watched it when it aired. It was really good. I really liked it. But anyway, let's continue.
Head sizes match. Still, almost all the anime characters have smaller eyes.
Yeah, and of course, like it's not a hard and fast rule. Like with Goku here, it's like you've got one, and then you have a curve, and then you kind of have a cut. So it's not hard and fast, right? It's just generalized. Like generally, the way you can construct an eye is via that technique, right? Is basically my point. So anyhow, let's continue.
Characters. And when I was writing this, I was going to say something like, "Oh, of course there are exceptions and romance moe characters and."
Look, even with the Moe characters, you can see it. It's one of those things like when you start doing like actual art studies, right? And you start like learning how to draw and stuff, you start seeing these kinds of things and you can't fucking unsee them, right? you start seeing like, oh, that's how they constructed that eye. They went they did 1 stroke, 2 stroke, 3 stroke, and then they did the iris, right? They did the big iris, and then they did this and that. It all kind of starts coming together in your mind, right? When you start looking into this stuff, it's quite fun. But anyway, I'll let him cook. I'll let him cook.
Anime have these bits that are way bigger than Western cartoons, but then I actually measured it, and these also aren't any bigger. So why does everyone say that anime eyes are so huge? Well, really, I think it's.
All right.
Well,
again,
really,
right? We mentioned this before.
The
anime eyes aren't as used as they used to be. I feel like so. I don't know why it's so harping on this point.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things where it's like this isn't really a complaint that I've seen a lot these days. But let's see what he has to say. Let's let him make his point.
It's true that the irises are way more prominent. Like this entire eye is.
God, I love this. Look, you can see it. Can you see it, Ellie?
Yeah,
you see
I've
one?
been counting. Don't worry.
Well, like I said, and it doesn't have to necessarily be like, again, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But you can see the structure, the shape, the diamond shape, right? When you look close into it.
Basically just one iris, whereas this eye is just a pupil. Also, the mouths are way smaller, and I think most of our perception of how big the eyes are is relative to the mouth and not.
What is this? What have you brought upon this cursed land? What have you brought upon this cursed land? Ah, man. Oh, fuck me.
All right.
Big the.
Oh.
I'm still I'm getting more bothered by him proving something that nobody was contesting, or debunking something that nobody was alleging.
Yeah, that seems very, very redundant. Let's
the eyes is relative to the mouth and not relative to the head in general. And then also the eyes are way lower on the face, which again tricks our proportions into thinking they're relatively bigger. A lot of anime also have eyes that change art styles to better reflect character emotion. And a lot of anime directors love doing extreme close-ups on eyes, which requires them to be a lot more detailed and
Well, eyes are the window to the soul. There's
so
a reason
they say.
why. So there's a reason why, like, I don't think that's just limited to anime. Is what I'm saying. I think it's a directorial choice, basically.
Do this, it still makes sense which character you're looking at. Why are colors in anime so weird?
And look, it just moves on to a new point. It just moves on to the next point. It's like, okay,
he has proven something that nobody was.
No one was contesting. I don't feel like he did a good job. I think it would have been more interesting if he brought up the construction point, because I think the construction point is a lot more valid than the way that he presented it, right? And I get that's probably just because, like, I don't know his background. I don't know if he has an art background or not.
The channel was named, was it Fractal Philosophy?
Yeah, Fractal. Yeah, so maybe he's not like art backgrounded, right? But if he was out, if you do enough research into this type of thing, you tend to find these patterns, right? And how to draw eyes, and the fact that you can move those 5 lines around to create different styles, right? Like you make the 4 line bigger, or the 5 line smaller, or the 3 line longer and angled in a different way, right? To create your eyes, right? So, yeah.
Is a question you should be able to answer now. A bright and flashy color palette is a great way to make your series stand out, and extreme hair and eye colors are great for making your characters stand out. Want to easily distinguish 6 guys with similar builds, hairstyles, and matching uniforms? Boom, neon-colored hair. Even mostly works in black and white. You're generally expected to suspend your disbelief and not question why this character has purple eyes or this high schooler has gray hair. Although has gray hair, generally prioritizes the emotion of visuals over what is
The emotion of visuals.
I don't think there's a lot of. I really do not think there are a lot of people out there that are like, I can't watch anime because people have neon colored hair and that's weird. I mean, I guess if you're a 14-year-old or something, but like, who gives a fuck?
The superheroes
Yeah.
have neon-colored entire bodies, so I don't
People
know.
in real life have weird. Right, the poison tree frog woman that all have fucking red-haired, the liberal lefty meme about them all having rainbow-colored hair and shit. Right, like, come on. Like, I don't think many people are like gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna watch anime because of the hair. Right, I really don't think that's a key point for people.
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna be real.
We're like halfway through Naruto, kind of.
No, we're a third.
Ooh.
7 minutes out of 23. Or 8 minutes out of 23. Sorry.
23.
Nice.
literally being shown, sometimes subtly, like in film color grading, but other times much more overtly in ways that only work in animation. And it goes beyond just the colors. Anime is very willing to warp space and physics to get more in a character's head, and extended visual's head, and extend is that Japanese is very indirect.
Sorry, you have to go back 5 seconds.
Okay.
I am. When things are somewhat clear, I'm letting it slide. But this time it was very.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Really being shown, sometimes subtly, like in film color grading, but other times much more overtly in ways that only work in animation. And it goes beyond just the colors. Anime is very willing to warp space and physics to get more in a character's head, and extended visual metaphors are quite common. Part of the reason for this is that Japanese need to state the subject of a sentence, for example.
Oh, look, you can comment on this. Why cat eat? Why, Ellie? Why cat? Why? They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Why cat eat? Why cat eat, Ellie?
Naruto. There are few ways of thinking about language, right? There is a school of thought that says everything you can translate anything, right? So if you say a word that you can't translate to another language, you can by explaining the entire sentence and blah blah blah. Right. Just take a whole paragraph to say it. Doesn't matter. You have translated the thing. There is a second school of thought that says no, you can't, because by translating a untranslatable word, you're not conveying the emotional context with it.
Well, the issue I have here, right, and I wonder if he's going to get into it, is, so, yeah, why cat eat sounds fucking weird in English, right? But I assume that in Japanese, there would be context for why the character walks in on other character being forced to eat cat, right? For whatever reason. Maybe they're being held at gunpoint or something.
I can give you an example, Naruto.
Okay.
An even more a very Japanese thing we say here in the Netherlands. Naruto, you are calling me. Ring, 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 right? On the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I pick up the phone and zeg, met Alinus.
Okay. Yeah,
that's the entire greeting, met. M-E-T.
In a couple of words, yeah. Well, not even a couple of words, just a
one
string
word.
of letters.
One word is the entire greeting for you when you are picking up the phone.
Someone picking up the phone.
Because met is, you can translate met to with, or to next to, or coming with benefits, something like that.
Yeah.
But met is short for you are speaking with me, name Alinus. Met Alinus, you are speaking, je spreekt met Alinus, you are speaking with Alinus. Are you now going to say that the Dutch are very indirect because we can leave out the entire sentence?
Ellie, the Dutch are weird.
Ooh.
I mean, down here you have like Kia Kaha. What the fuck is it? No, because Kia Kaha stands strong. That's different. It's Kiora. Is it Kiora? I can't remember. My Mari is very fucking shot. I learned a little bit of it. I'm not very good at Mari. But I remember. I think it's like Kia, because I know Kia Kaha stands strong because that was like an anti-bullying campaign back in the day. So that's like burned into my brain. So there's like Kia Kaha, and I think it's Kiora. I think is like the Mari greeting is like Kiora.
Yeah, it stands for a way longer thing.
Yeah, I believe it does. Yeah, it's like there's like a whole fucking greeting thing that you can do, and then of course you have the hakas and whatnot that are all different fucking shit. Yeah, it's complicated nonsense. But going a little bit back to the Japanese here, right? Like, yeah, why can't eat? Yeah, when you present it like this, and it's like weird, right? It looks weird to an English speaker. But if you were like in Japanese, this would have been presented in like the context of what is happening, right? Because it's a contextual thing where it's like someone is eating a cat, and someone walks in on them eating the cat, and the guy's like, "Why eat cat?" Like literally, he's like, "Why eat the cat?" Right? Why are you eating the cat? Are you, yeah. So let's see what he says, because maybe he clarifies this, because I feel like he kind of needs to. He needs to be like, okay, yeah, the reason this is like this is because of context.
I have a criticism. There is no des at the end, deska at the end.
Yeah.
Therefore, the A from why do you want to eat a cat? The A should also be in brackets.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I kind of see that. Yeah, but anyway, let's continue.
State the subject of a sentence, for example, and culturally, you often get in conversation.
Oh, he's just not gonna fucking comment on that. Just no explanation. No, like, because you have to explain that. Okay, yeah. First off, Japanese contextual language. Second off, the Japanese have a reversed grammar structure to English.
Yeah.
Right. Because English is like, how do I explain this? It's like, you'll probably have a better job explaining this than me, because English is like, why eat the cat, right? You don't start with the subject, you start with what's happening, right? Why are you eating the cat, right? Whereas with Japanese, you start with the, I think it's like you have to start with the thing. How do I explain this? You try and explain. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's like SOV and VOS or SVO. VOS. You have a different couple of orders, and every language can reverse it in some situations, but Japanese is mostly a different word order from English, from Netherlands, from
it's like the subject is swapped around usually, where it's like you have the subject at the beginning, not the end, right? Or something like that. Like instead of apple is red, it's red is apple, or something like that, right? It's like the reverse structure. And that trips a lot of people up. But anywho, let's continue.
I want to say something.
Yep, there you
go. To continue the big thing of my language thoughts, point is people think you're influenced by language, or your thinking is influenced by the language that you speak, right? So if your language has these words and these concepts, that means that you are capable of thinking of these words and these concepts, and they exist to you. And somebody who isn't brought up in the language don't connect to those same concepts as somebody who does have those words in the language. People.
All right, continue talking to people about language, because I got to refill my drink.
Yeah.
So I'll be back
so that's mostly been disproven, that your thinking is kind of limited to the languages you know. You can think and feel more than the language allows you to speak. There is an influence. And there isn't some influence, thought to be some influence in the sense of kind of associations with words. So when you have a specific feeling, a history, and an ancestry almost with a word, and everything that word includes, if you then suddenly translate that word with all its context to another language, the person in the another language doesn't have the years of cultural inheritance that the person in the native language does. And that is kind of what is kind of meant by words that you can't translate. That kind of means that there is a cultural background here that you are not getting when you just translate the word.
I hit the deafen button instead of the mute button, so that was funny. Doesn't matter. So yeah, so I assume you've been entertaining the chat with language facts.
To end off the cap off, right? The idea that a person is completely limited by the language that they speak is kind of disproven. And you can have, we have seen the animes where characters are very direct.
Yeah.
The language doesn't limit your feelings. It merely places some low, knee-high guardrails or something.
Right.
You might trip over them, but it won't stop you. That's the thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's continue.
About another thing.
I hope you get to see a ghost someday. 'Cause I'm sure there's a ghost out there somewhere who wants you to see it, you know?
This tendency to be indirect, combined with a desire to make empathetic characters, can explain a lot of quirks about anime. Why does a character that normally looks like this look different for jokes and for serious moments?
It may be because being wishy-washy in a romance series is a way to have a romance series continue.
Yeah, maybe people are socially awkward and don't quite manage to get the words out when they're talking.
Maybe there's an editor with an X above the writer's head that says, if you X this manga, I'll X your head off.
Maybe, yeah.
Look different for jokes and for serious moments. Indirectness plus character empathy. Why are there so many backstory flashbacks?
Because characters are cool.
Because backstories are cool, yeah.
The Joker has a backstory, a tragic backstory.
Yeah.
Every villain in every in the superheroes, in the westerns.
Every hero has Batman has a backstory.
Yeah, and
got shot.
Penguin has a backstory with mafia crimes, and Mr. Freeze has some backstory.
His
that
wife, his wife,
frozen, whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah,
it's not an anime thing.
Again,
sorry.
Indirectness plus character empathy. We can also use this to explain why does anime sound weird? The abundance of non-literal and metaphorical sound effects. Sometimes these can accompany themes burning in passion. But sometimes the audio is a metaphor in and of itself, where it's representing some internal character emotions. It's representing some
You mean theme music for a character?
Holy shit, sound design,
I very much believe that there is a jingle playing every time when Indiana Jones does a cool thing. Suddenly the Indiana Jones music plays.
Dun 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 dun.
That's the thing that he's saying is weird in anime. I don't see this. Again, I've never heard someone say anime sounds weird, right? With the eyes and the hair and all that shit. Yeah, I heard those kinds of things when I was 15 in high school or whatever, when people were kids, right? But I've never seen people say, "Oh, it sounds weird." Why does it sound weird? Every character that you know has a theme song that you can recognize as belonging to the
they
character.
Have a motif. They have a I believe it's called a motif, right?
Or even if just this is the music that happens when something cool is about to happen.
See, it's funny because they have this in GFL too with Suomi, right? Suomi has Suomi has an EP that's out, which is a death metal It's actually really good. I think it's called like Aurora in the Snow. It's really good. If you have Suomi set as your home screen background from the dorm, because she has a dorm interaction thing where she's listening to music,
Mhm.
she actually like hums her theme. So she's like, so yeah, so it's like the motif, right? It's the little theme, right? And
Mhm.
she's doing it in the dorm, and it's like, is that weird? No, not really.
No,
She's humming along to the music she's listening to. It's fine. And like, and then with this, like, right, it's like, yeah, they use sound effects and they use sound effects and visual effects to emphasize certain emotions and certain atmospheric things. But that's like every fucking thing does that. It's not
I'm
weird.
getting frustrated by this. He makes anime weird. He's making it weird.
Yeah,
like,
he's making it weird. Yeah.
I'm going to say it again, right? So he's pulling a bigger and bigger Orientalism. He making everything is more and more exotic.
Thing Japan, yeah.
Thing Japan.
Thing Japan.
Weird.
Okay. This might be worthwhile. Pivot though. You can't deny that sound effects and expressive faces is emphasized. Yeah, it's emphasized, but it's like, yeah, it's not weird, but they do it. Yeah, no, I do agree with you, Samuel. It's like, yeah, that's why it's weird that it's weird, ironically, that he is making a big deal out of it, right? Like, yeah, I don't know what he's on about, but anyway.
Sometimes non-literal audio is just...
The music gets weird when the characters are in a weird mind space. Doesn't that happen with when weird sound effects play when when your character gets hit by the hypnotic gas or something? The Batman with the
Batman
character.
Joker gas. Yeah. I don't know, but anyway.
Used to emphasize and punch up a scene.
Then admit you like this guy.
It's not true.
Yeah, huh? You do.
I don't.
You do.
The answer is no.
Except it's actually yes.
That sound is way too deep for Ishigami.
I fucking hate dubs. Please, God. Oh, I hate
Anime
it.
dubs are rarely good. Video games dubs are pretty good, actually, often.
Please end the suffering.
Ishigami is way too deep. Why is he so deep? I don't get it. Also...
Oh my god. Oh, fuck off. Just... Listen. Okay. I know I've brought it up on the show before, but Ellie, you remember the Breaking Bad, if it was dubbed by an anime dubs fucking meme video?
No, I've never
seen
it.
That is literally... No, you have seen it. I've literally brought it up on the show before and had you watch it. Literally done
I have forgotten it completely. I have absolutely no memory
but
of it.
Fucking like that meme is so fucking accurate to this, right? Where it's like, okay, I think this is off topic kind of, and it's me talking about fucking dubs, right? But a big problem I have with dubs is they see a scene like that, which, yeah, it's exaggerated. The characters are being hyper, right? They are being like, yelling at each other and exaggerated and going on about right? Yes. But then what happens is the dub will take that and make the voice acting like dialed up to 11, right? Like seemingly way more than what the I assume the Japanese dub intended, right, for them to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it sounds like, oh, why is his voice so deep, right? It's because they're trying to like force it, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work. I don't know how people can stand that shit.
But also, nobody, I've never seen a single person complain or even mention even that, oh, they use sound effects when doing Big Bang things in the scene.
To do emphasis. It's weird. It's weird.
Okay, was not expecting this cuteness.
There's other times the entire scene is based around the audio.
Oh, it hurts, Ellie. Oh my god.
I'm just
demand better of your dubs, guys. Like, come on, like demand better, because that shit's just no. That's horrible.
is based around the audio.
I also feel like he's he's doing some editing here because I don't remember this sounding this.
I do
intense.
remember this sounding very well good. So, but
It sounded good, but I don't think it was this loud.
maybe at most he's making it a little bit louder, but it was sounded
Yeah.
very unique and good. So what? Things sounding good is weird. What is?
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, Retsu, slightly different, right?
Audio and
You remember Frieren, right? Episode 2.
Yeah.
When Fern was doing the blast, and as a small child, and was like pew, and it had some
Pew.
That was a very good laser beam sound.
That was a very good pew sound.
Yeah, and also Gundam from those are good laser beam sounds.
Yeah.
And I'm like going, oh, that's so weird. Wacky Japan does weird laser beam sounds. Or I might go from, Dretsu, you should listen to this sound. As if I wouldn't do it. Anybody else can do a very good laser beam sound, and I would go, damn, that's a good laser beam. Why is Japan here the weird one? Why is Japan being so Japan is so exoticized here, and I don't get it.
Yeah, I feel like he's singling this out a little bit, and I'm definitely not a fan. I feel like he's over exaggerating a tad, just a tad, just a tad. He's doing a bit of
Orientalism is kind of a benevolent racism, but how much benevolent racism do you get before some kind of weird, black man with a bone through their nose and a big iron pots? How far can you go before you do that? And I'm feeling that he's inching towards that.
When do you step across the line of soft racism into doing the hard racism?
From hey, this is weird to outright racist caricature.
Alright, that's good. Well, let's find out. We still got like half a video, let's find out.
So much more worse to go.
Especially emphasized.
Yeah, alright, so let's continue.
Because of how direct they adapt comics. Say we start with two comics that are both action comedies about retired assassins. The adaptation of the American comic script to fit a movie better.
Some thumbsucker tagged them red. Red? Retired, extremely dangerous.
Meanwhile, the anime adaptation of the Japanese comic will have a lot of scenes that are shot-for-shot duplicates of the comic.
Let's see. I have a thing. I've seen some manga panels for Dandadan, specifically the fight scenes. Dandadan anime doesn't follow the fight scenes in the manga at all. I mean, the same thing happens, but it's completely different choreography, different angles, different.
It's almost like they're adapting the manga to a new medium. Almost, right? Maybe, possibly, who knows?
And this is not to say that manga can be an easy thing to adapt in a way.
There are definitely like adaptations that are just like they just take the manga panels and they
because the manga panel is very good, has a very good flow and choreography.
Or not even that. If it's like a cheap adaptation, right? They do like I'm saying, if it's like Remonster, right? right? Like if it's Remonster and it's like, we'll just like slideshow. Here's the manga panel, but in anime style.
I was thinking just of the Arrow anime that is just pick manga panel and have the characters move
you see that a lot. Yeah,
back and forth.
You see that a lot with Arrow stuff. Yeah. So I'm kind of like I do feel like there is a little bit of a that does happen. What he's describing does happen, and it even happens in what I would assume is a good show like this one, right? I haven't watched this.
I am
one about the
hearing
retired
good
assassin.
things about the manga, and I'm seeing people
I have
hyped for the anime.
I have heard very good things about it. I've heard that it is a very good show.
But he's making the
but-
claim that manga is a storyboard for anime, which isn't. It
Mm,
isn't.
mm.
Different things happen.
Yeah, and again, it's a case by case kind of.
Also,
deal.
he's
like yeah.
Look at, if this is the same panel, he's sitting in an entirely different place on a different.
Yeah, exactly. He's sitting in a completely different location. Yeah. Oh god. But anyway, let's keep going.
Because of the massive popularity of Japanese comics, they expect many people who watch the show will have already read it. Therefore, their main priority is doing a faithful adaptation and focusing on things that aren't in the original comic. Like,
He's doing that thing again, you know, he's doing that thing that I keep harping on about, you know, that thing about intent, that thing about prescribing things, you know, prescribe intent to, that they want to do a faithful adaptation rather than a more loose adaptation, because they already know that everyone's already read it, Ellie. They just always assume that, right?
No, they
That's just
don't.
how the Japanese people, those wacky, weird Japanese people just think like that, right? All of them.
Alright, so I have no numbers, right? But I can think that there is an entire crowd of anime onlys in Japan, because Naretsu, because Naretsu, I am mostly anime only most of the time, and Naretsu, you might have heard this, but the Japanese people are just people.
Yeah,
They can have
shocking,
the same-
shocking.
They can have
Revelation.
they can have the same level as involvement in the medium of anime manga, and pick an anime. I'll guess I watch it. Manga, nah, I don't really feel like it.
Yeah, I only watch, or I don't care about the anime. I only read the manga.
I don't want to
only.
buy the thing from the magazine. I don't want a subscription to the manga. I'll just wait for the anime.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Japan is not an island of manga readers and then wait and judge the anime on its accuracy.
Yeah, they have their own medias, other shows, other things. So So anyway, let's continue.
like sound effects and music. So, why do so many anime have such elaborate intros? Well, it's some of the only content that's entirely
why are we
unique to the anime.
Man, guys, all over the place in this video.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't...
he makes an assertion about how, the reason why anime is like this and this, right, is because they're just trying to closely follow the manga, right? And then he just completely switches to a completely different point about intros. And now we're going to talk about intros and openings.
Alright, so this is a kind of a midway point, I feel like, somewhere.
Oh yeah, we're in the midway.
Alright.
Yep.
It more and more feels like, so that he had questions himself. And instead of looking things up, he just invented answers for himself.
Yeah, it seems like it, right? Because a lot of these feel like just pulled out of his ass, and he's jumping around constantly. And
I can feel a little bit from how this might have gone. Right, he's writing a script, la 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 la, and you think, all right, this is the reason why. All right, why would people want to watch an anime instead of a manga? Because there are fancy sound effects and fancy emotions and whatnot and voices. But openings, they are not in a manga. Oh, they must be in there because they are entire new content for the people to watch and see and consume. I'm going to write that's the answer. That's very logical.
Yeah, truly, Ellie's all-seeing eye, truly the eye of insight. Yeah, right. Well, let's continue.
I know the authorial content. Nobody else.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
I just never say it.
Yeah, but anyway, let's continue.
getting some of the
Oh.
top bands in Japan and doing
I.
Alright, so you have to go back 5 seconds because it was paused for 5 seconds and suddenly it...
Alright.
shows. Well, it's some of the only content that's entirely unique to the anime adaptation. So there's a lot of effort put.
Not what? Okay. So what he's saying is they have to put a lot of effort into the OPs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's some of the only content that is unique to the anime adaptation of
Yes.
the manga. Because he believes that manga is always a one-to-one, shot-for-shot recreation of the manga,
Yeah, I
right?
guess.
The anime
That's
is
also
a...
a thing.
Yeah. Which, so... Is he fucking high? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I called it a little bit about the openings before. So that's
Yeah.
why I mentioned it.
Most anime openings are just spoilers. Yeah, like Dandadan is like... Yeah, Dandadan's opening, it's not necessarily spoilers,
No,
but it
because
is hinting at, like, what's coming, right?
I am sidetrack Renatu. I don't mind spoilers in openings when I don't know what they are.
Kinda,
I mean,
yeah.
Because
yeah.
wasn't like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago when I said, hey, they kind of go in order of the monsters on screen, so I'm guessing the next monster...
Yeah.
That's not really a spoiler because I don't know zero about the context.
Yeah, we
besides
don't
the-
have the context, yeah.
So I don't,
yeah,
I don't mind.
But yeah, looping back to this, right? It's like this is the problem with starting from a shaky foundation of little research and also the prescription of an authorial intent. Because he's basing his entire point on a falsehood, essentially, it's causing the whole fucking tower to crack and fall over. Right? But yeah, let's hear it. Let's continue.
Into getting some of the top bands in Japan and doing a lot of creative and unique visuals.
Oh no, the copyright's too.
Oh no, we're gonna lose our monetization that we don't have. Oh no.
Also, I
Yeah,
don't
let's
know
keep
the first OP, but these three. No,
I think that was erased. I think it's
it looks
erased,
like
and
it,
then Oshi. Yeah, it's erased, and then Oshi, and then I don't.
flashback.
Is this Jujutsu Kaisen? I might
No,
be Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know.
the one that's colored right now with the blocks that is from what was it again? It's the
don't
OP
know.
is at least called Flashback. It's a very good OP.
All right, well, whatever.
That's-
Dun, dun, dun,
I've
dun,
never
dun,
watched that OP
dun,
because it's in
dun.
the show.
I haven't
that
watched that. I haven't watched Muscle either, but I have heard that song because Pochi covered it, and she did a really good cover of it. It's good.
I don't care about the show, and I
This
don't
close
really
relationship
watch
to comics
OPs of shows that I don't watch, so I haven't.
Well, no, I just heard. Like I said, I heard it because it was covered.
alright.
I didn't care about the OP. But anyway,
also means that a lot of the idiosyncratic things about comics are transferred over to anime. For example, Scott McCloud, in his book Understanding Comics, has a fantastic chapter about how time acts weird in comics. Like, if you look at this panel, it implies there's some motion of time. Characters are reacting to each other and doing things actually moving. This carries over into anime by making a lot of situations where time is relevant kind of weird. Often characters will say, oh, I'm going to do this in X amount of time, and then the actual time in the show is nowhere near that.
1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds.
Jotaro couldn't figure out why Dio had suddenly vanished amidst
High prevalence of thought bubbles in comics also means that
It's my skipping laugh, so don't worry about it.
oh yeah, okay. Well, it doesn't matter because it was just playing a JoJo scene anyway.
Yeah. Also,
But like his general point is basically that time is weird.
yeah, I kind of
shows
know
and mangas,
because
which-
people
which-
think and talk and narrate at the same time, and therefore,
I have watched a video which is like JoJo, like JoJo's powers in real time, and it's really funny because it's like
yeah,
because it's like
flish-
because he does all of the stuff that he does on screen when time is paused in the span of like a nanosecond.
yeah,
So like it's quite funny. But it's like But yeah, no. But I mean, I don't see this as like a weird thing, and I don't see this as like a unique thing. Even he mentioned like it's something that's brought up by that guy who did that, because that comic book on comics is really good, by the way.
I believe I've read it also, but I'm just thinking right now, Naretsu, of all the 1,000 times a car is going to crash into you, Naretsu. A big truck is going. A train is coming your way, and you are
Train Kun is coming.
And you are trapped in the car on the rail track, and the train
and then
is
time slows down. Yeah, time slows down
as the character is
I'm about to
desperately
be crushed.
Getting off the chains of the infant that he has to rescue out of the car that the evil villain has put there. In real time, that train has already come and gone, of course. But in movie time, you have like another minute before he arrives.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed, basically.
Me neither, yeah.
Of thought bubbles in comics also means that anime that are directly adapting comics have a lot more internal monologue than anime that don't. And this,
also,
of course, combines...
novels,
Yeah, we talked about that before. We already talked about the whole internal monologue thing. Like, it's not... Yeah.
With weirdness to get the classic anime internal monologues.
Is he going to think that I'm Kira if I go for the win? I suppose I could just lose on purpose, but if I do, it could work against me, since he'd want to win, he might...
Me, why is the lip...
Yeah, well, the thing is it's giving you that extra context, right? And it's giving you an insight into the character's mind. And funnily enough, when I was watching Mushoku Tensei, right? And I was talking about how I was watching that guy on YouTube who was like being like, "Oh, here's how Mushoku Tensei is different from the light novels, right? And the web novels, right? In the light novels and the web novels, there is a fuckload of Rudius's internal monologue.
Oh, didn't I
Rudius is thinking to himself all the fucking time.
I said this right? So when I said he made 1,000 references, it was basically
he's thinking about all kinds of shit. But they don't show that in the anime because it's not necessary.
No,
right? It doesn't actually add the context to it.
I've never read Ready Player One, but it might have a similar feeling when Rudius first arrives in the fantasy world, because he just cannot stop referencing every other isekai, every other fantasy series that he's ever seen.
It kind of makes sense why you would cut that out of the adaptation, because it doesn't add to, like, it doesn't add or subtract anything to remove it, right?
Rudy is surprised and thinks this is a fantasy world, and that is cool. That's the entire fault.
And when you like the example he showed on screen now, right? The character is clearly like, this is what the character is what's going through their head in that moment. They're strategizing. They're trying to think about, hey, this character is playing mind games with me. How do I play mind games with them? What am I going to do, right? That's important contextual information for the viewer, in a sense. Now, of course, I don't have the full context of what's going on in that show because I haven't watched it, but I am making an assumption here, right? But it seems to me like that was a necessary bit of like, oh, yeah, the main character is trying to figure out how to solve the situation that they're in, right?
Also,
as opposed to like a Rudius in Eternal Monologue that was cut, where he's just like, wow, this is just like my Japanese anime.
Literally
doing that in the Japanese anime, right?
Just for a "but you do it too" thing. Every slow motion shots in the superhero movie is them thinking and aiming and adjusting and then letting go of the arrow or beam or whatever gun shot.
Yeah.
You don't the only difference is you don't hear an internal monologue, because that's not because one, movies hate internal monologues, and two, that's already kind of implied that you kind of slow-mo. All right, so he's doing something intense. He's thinking, he's aiming, he's doing the thing with great intensity and deliberateness. That's why time is slowing down for this character.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah,
you saw in that scene, it was in slow motion. Light moved in slow motion as he fought a million thoughts, because was his action thing. Thinking. It's a thinking series most of the time.
He do be thinking. He do man be thinking. You know, just casually having a think.
Can you go back
so-
like 1 second so it might reset the.
Okay, there we go. All right, let's go.
Monologues.
Is he going to
Oh,
think
yeah,
that I'm
we get to
kidding
hear
if I
this
go for
again.
the win? I suppose I could just lose on purpose, but if I do, it could work against me. Since he'd expect Kira to want to win, he might also expect me to throw the match to avoid suspicion.
I've sometimes had people ask me, why is the lip sync so bad in anime?
Oh, here we go.
And if you're watching in English,
Well,
there's
this
an
feels like a
obvious
dub
answer.
watcher fucking
Yeah,
problem.
He did say English. That.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, like because yeah, it's true that there is lip sync is a factor in dubbing, right? So obviously, but like, and I've actually had that happen as well. I've had people tell me about this as well, like back in high school when I was trying to get people.
Oh
in
yeah, I
anime,
mean,
in a sense.
in certain games, right?
Yeah,
Fire
games
Emblems
have
maybe
this-
or something.
Yeah,
I would much rather prefer Japanese, even
Yeah.
if just because the lip syncing would match. Because
yeah,
recent days, recent times, they just throw in an algorithm from, all right, this kind of sound is recorded and being played, then I'll move the mouth of the characters a little bit like this, I guess.
yeah. The lip syncing issue is not as bad as it was back.
No,
then, yeah.
but
But
back,
anyway, let's
back
see
in
what
the
he's
day,
got.
of course,
Yeah.
there was no lip syncing for the English, so it was set to the Japanese, and therefore
Yeah.
it was bad.
It kind of reminds me of when I would watch Godzilla movies that I have on DVD, and you'd watch them with the English dub, and it would.
Oh, that reminds me.
Fucking hilarious!
It's the same point, so don't worry about it. But sometimes, very rarely, when I was watching Pokemon as a small child, sometimes the characters would just speak, but no line was said, because in our language it was just said shorter. The characters had more mouth speaking time than was needed to say a thing. So very rarely the character was just acting like a fish for the 2 seconds or something. And yeah, that's bad lip syncing, I guess. But also it was made for the language.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, let's continue.
An anime. And if you're watching in English, there is an obvious answer. It was originally made in Japanese, and the English voice actors are just putting their voice over the footage and trying to match the lip movements that are already there.
Oh my god, what the hell's happening here? These are the fastest lip flaps I've ever had to see!
But sometimes
Why use the bad one? That's not.
It's Ghost Stories.
Use something from 10 years ago when it wasn't done.
It's because he's got to do haha funny ghost stories. They reference it in ghost stories.
They
Haha
break the
funny
fourth
funny
wall thing.
funny haha guys haha it's funny Mays. Anyway,
I've had to see!
But sometimes when you watch it in Japanese, the lip sync is just as bad.
Because it's cheap.
Here. Well, actually,
because it's cheap, yeah. Because they only have so many frames. Okay, right. Sometimes. So yeah, no. Again, I don't see why this is a big problem.
here. Well, actually, it's the same reason. Because anime are so often direct comic adaptations.
No. No. Ellie, he's doing it. He's doing the thing. He's like, oh, it's because it's a direct adaptation, Ellie. That's why the lip syncing is bad. It's not because
nothing to do with it.
It's not because of like technical limitations or budgeting or maybe they needed to like prioritize different animation and the lip sync was not really a priority, right? Like, come on. Dude, my man. Again, he's formulated a made up foundation of sand, and now his tower is crashing under the weight of his arguments, right? because it all hinges on this assertion that anime is always a direct one-to-one adaptation of a manga or a whatever, right? And so it had. So that's I know exactly what he's going to say. He's going to say, "Oh, they have to copy what the text was in the manga one-to-one," right? That's what he's going to say, right? I guarantee it.
The animation is often made before the voice acting, even for the Japanese voice actors.
基本的に後からですね、絵に合わせて。
Oh, look, he's actually showing an interview. Also, it's Connor. Hi, Connor.
Oh yeah, it is him.
Yeah, Connor actually interviewing a Japanese animator? Holy shit.
Talking about the industry, I thought they stopped doing that.
Holy shit. Yeah, but maybe all my criticisms about them were unfounded. Maybe they are actually fucking doing what they should be doing. And helping further the knowledge of the industry. Holy shit!
I actually got in.
But anyway,
I actually got in a small argument on a difference. I had my own Twitter debate on a Discord server. People said, "Oh, I like trash stations." Nah, I'm not a fan. I think they're kind of lazy. And then I was like, "Oh, why do you think they're lazy?" These reasons, blah 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 blah, and they're called trash stations, blah 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 blah. So they're paid by blah 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 and do nothing with it, blah 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 blah, blah and they're in Japan.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah.
And then they didn't get it. I guess the fanboys.
They didn't get it. Yeah.
They actually said.
Yeah.
They actually said, "No, I don't get you. I don't get it. Why are you?" And some.
Why are you being mean, Ellie? Why are you being mean?
I'm not. All right. My last Twitter debate, reciting of the debate here. Is that the argument was, or the defense was basically, but they're there to be funny. They're not there to...
Oh, yeah. It's just joking. They're not... Yeah, why are you taking it so seriously? They're just spreading misinformation. Why are you so mad?
And they're watched by millions, so they are right because they are... Right,
Yeah.
Because people watch them, they are right.
Appeal to popularity, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Enough of... unrelated, completely different server, not drama, but stuff. I see trash taste. I must trash the trash taste.
Yeah. Trash taste hate. Trash taste hate. Trash taste hate. But anywho, so let's see what the animator's got. He's probably just gonna say, yeah, they record the thing, but yeah.
And then I have to.
To compensate for this, anime animators tend to use more generic mouth motions, which makes the lip sync for Japanese look worse, but ironically, I think it makes it better at being dubbed into other languages. The mouth motions being more generic makes it less obvious that they're speaking in a language differently than what the original animation was
Which
intended
animated
for.
show doesn't do this?
Yeah. I mean, I do know that a lot of the time they do animate stuff before they put it into they get the recording, because that can actually help the voice actors, because the voice actors can watch the scene happen while they're recording it, and they can go, "Oh, I should be emoting this way," because the character they get into the role, right? They get into it, right?
I also have seen, maybe it's just one studio or something, right? But that the mouth flaps are adjusted after the voice is spoken, right?
Yeah, they could do. Yeah, there's like a version. Yeah, maybe. But
it's just a mouth flap. Just two scenes, two pictures, display or not display. So it's very easy. Most.
All right, let's continue.
Places like this. Shut the fuck up before this. Shut the fuck.
Made the voice animation.
Yeah, I guess. Fine.
Looked fine either way.
Yeah, but anyway.
Oh, Naruto, pause and go back a second.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Really was far.
Places like this.
On purpose,
Shut
or?
the fuck up before.
Oh no, I'm just clicking. I'm just clicking.
All right.
Back a little bit. Yeah.
Damn it.
One of the rare anime that made the voice animation after the voice actors have done their performance was Akira. And you can see how much more awkward the English dub sounds over it.
Maybe it's because it's a movie and not a TV weekly show.
Yeah, classic problem.
Whoa! Who the hell do you think?
Ha! You don't like what you're hearing, do ya?
Another reaction to these simplified
looked
lip
fine
flaps I
enough.
see sometimes
Yeah, it was
is
fine. I mean, it
why
wasn't
does
1-to-1.
anime
It was
have-
alright. Okay. I don't think, like, unless you're, like, actively looking for it, it's one of those things where I don't think a lot of people really notice, to be real. To be perfectly honest. Like, I don't think most people are, like, deliberately going
I'm
in.
not watching the dub, so I don't. Maybe they just.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things where, like, I think that once you notice it, it is hard to unnotice it, but at the same time, people get used to it. You know, like, I don't think it's that big of a problem. But anyhow,
Another reaction to these simplified lip flaps I see sometimes is, why does anime have such bad animation quality? And actually, it's my opinion that anime
Bad?
both does have worse animation quality than Western animation,
Oh, we
but
watched the whole video
also
on this.
a
It
lot
is kind of
better
a-
animation quality.
yeah,
They're a
we
lot more
already
willing to be inconsistent.
we
with the
already
level of
gone
effort
over
they're
that.
putting
Yeah,
into
the
any
whole
scene.
puppet system and whatnot, and
yeah, different techniques, different technologies, different ways of doing things. Yeah,
more
They're a lot
emphasis
more willing to
on
be
super
incon-
smoothness. Above
yeah,
all
it's not
quality.
like one versus the other, right? So yeah.
They're a lot more willing to be inconsistent with the level of the scene. And this kind of comes down to a different business strategy. Like, if you're going to make a 10-episode show, you could put the same amount of effort into all of those episodes. Alternatively, you could invest your effort
going to do budget?
non-linear.
Yeah, he's making a budget argument right now, which is not, from what I understand, not technically how. Because I think we've mentioned before, like they get a set budget per episode. I think.
Mhm.
Like,
Well, it's all about management. It's all about management.
Yeah, it's all about management. Yeah, this is kind of falling into the budget trap that we've talked about before, where people think that it's like, oh, it's all about the budget. For they took budget from this to put in this. It's like, don't know about that.
Doing something like putting 70% effort into 9 episodes. Then you can use that leftover effort to make the finale almost 4 times better than it would be otherwise.
How many shows actually do this though? Like, can we think of a show where it's like you're watching the show and it's like average, right? For like the whole thing, it's below average, and then at the very end of it, it's like, holy shit, right? When does this actually happen?
All right, now so this is I've in no way done research or read articles on this, but I feel that's why I say it. I feel like that specific scenes are kind of designated from, all right, you do this scene and you get 3 weeks to do it, and we and the rest of the team will do the normal animations for however long. And if
it's more about delegating the resources and giving like different people on the team different jobs.
So when the fancy scenes in Oshinoko, right, or even the fancy scene in One Piece, apparently, afterwards there's some person on Twitter or somewhere that says, "Hey, I was the one who did that," and then there's some bloke in Poland who did it.
Yeah,
and then
they get like they outsource it to a separate.
Yeah, they outsource it to a single animator, and they're, all right, you do this fight scene section, and then they work on it for like a month, and then here animation studio, here's the part, and they have the whole time to clean up and do fancy all that whatnot. While the normal sweatshops in South Korea do the normal animations. When they want to be fancy, they, allocate that to fancy animator. But that's not really what he's saying here, right? If your final episodes have fancy fights, big climaxes, all that kind of stuff. So it's not surprising that animation would get more, better treatment or more attention or outsourced.
You would allocate your top guy, right?
Yeah, but
it's not necessarily you're going to like allocate more funding to it, you're allocating the top guy, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you're the guy that we think does the best job. Here, you get the fight scene because you're good at fight scenes, right? That kind of thing.
It kind of feels more like that every episode has a set budget and there's a sub budget for fancy stuff. Not that it's taken away from other episodes. I don't really feel.
Of course, it's something we'd have to do a bit more research into.
Yeah, I don't feel like budget is the budget. That word is taken away from other episodes to do better final episodes or better.
Which is the problem with the trap and the meme, right? The budget meme.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, that's the problem with that meme is it's not like it doesn't have a good foundation. So anyhow, let's continue.
Now, these are just arbitrary numbers, but this is the kind of philosophy I'm talking about, where anime is willing to have deeper valleys where the animation quality is bad in order to have higher heights where the animation quality is really good.
So, where's okay.
So, let me kind of jump in here and say that there's a problem with this argument, and the problem with it is, how do you define good and bad animation quality, right? Because let's use Oshi no Ko as an example.
Yeah,
right? When you have an episode of Oshi no Ko where, okay, there's not any like big flashy, like, you know, because you have the episodes where they're doing the play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's these big flashy and like very artistic, you know, crazy animation going on where characters' emotions are being symbolized with, you know, different
entire
symbols and flowers. Entire journeys of their lives are being shown, and all of this like highly visually appealing stuff is happening. Like the Sakuga stuff, right? As people like to say, right? The Sakuga, right? When like that is so how is that? So that's good animation versus the episodes where it's just them in the rehearsal room, you know, having conversations and just standing around, and there's not really any, like, not a lot of movement going on. It's mostly just, hey, they're in the bar and they're talking about the fact that so-and-so is, like, the brother of so-and-so, right? And those kind of scenes are happening, right? Like, this is my problem with this, is I don't think that the scenes that are the downtime are badly animated compared to the Sakuga, right? Like, because to me, if I'm going to be defining something as being badly animated, I'm going to be looking for, like, animation errors. You know, is this the correct, like, you know, is it like a slideshow? Is there absolutely no movement? Is there, does the, you know, when there is movement, is it jittery? Does it feel stilted? Does it feel, you know, like, are there actual, like, like, Berserk 2016 is poorly animated, right?
Yes.
Because of the CGI, and it, you know, we've all seen the gif of Guts when he's, like, going up, and, like, they just literally fucking copy select him in fucking Photoshop and just move him up and down across the fucking scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've all seen that gif, right? That, to me, is bad animation, right? That's like maybe the extreme end of bad animation, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking for when I'm going to say that was badly animated. Not, for like maybe the first free, maybe, well, maybe not first free, but for like the middle of a series, they're taking it easy and they're not doing like really flashy fight scenes and they're not doing any of that. They're just doing like, you know, pretty average looking stuff, and then at the very end they do like a big fucking like fight or whatever, and that's the good animated part, right? So I feel like his issue here is he needs to define what he means by bad versus good animation quality, right? Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, because, you know, the Family Guys, the Simpsons. If you look at animation in there, they have set poses. They are puppets. They are puppeted by, you know, standing left, standing right, arms up, be surprised, go back to default stance. Now, Family Guys, you know, Naretsu, pictured in your mind the Griffin Griffin, right? He gets angry. He puts one foot forward, arms raised horizontal to the ground, shaking a little bit, head forward. and then he steps back and puts his arms back to his sides again. That is animation in Family Guy. And you could picture it in your mind, I say. Is that good animation?
Yeah. That's, again, and it's kind of a relative type thing as well, right? Because in Family Guy, like, I mean, everyone's seen like there's like the famous stuff where he's fighting the chicken, if you know about that, where
Yeah,
like
but
they animate the fight scenes with the chicken.
That's animation.
Is that better animated than the rest of Family Guy, or is it just, you know?
Well, I'm kind of comparing the normal anime, the non-Sakuga, Family Guy to non-Sakuga anime, and in there, yeah, Family Guy is, I guess, more efficient because just have character snap to pose 1, pose 2, and then back to pose 1. Anime has to, of course, redraw the entire thing again from a different angle because it's a fancy. They do a different camera angle now. It's not efficient. It looks, I feel, a little bit better because you get some variation. Camera angles also tell a story about emotional states. But to really put it all on budget and to say, I guess he doesn't say that this is the graph that all anime follow or something.
No. It's just I think my problem is like he's not defined his thing. Sorry, I'm getting text. So
yeah, I heard a fancy sound.
Yeah, I'm getting family texting me about things.
At least you're not kidnapped to an island.
Yeah, at least I'm not getting kidnapped to an island. Yeah, because I'll do that. I'll do that after I'm done with you because I have to pop over to the brothers for a bit. Anywho, so it's not urgent. I'm not going anywhere, but it's just something I have to do later. So to cap this off and so we can move on, I feel like my big problem is that he hasn't defined what good versus bad animation is in this graph here, right? Is he just meaning like, oh, it's got downtime versus uptime, or is it like actually bad quality?
Characters sitting across from each other talking.
Anyhow, let's continue.
One of my favorite examples of this is Naruto, which started in 2002 and made a 22-minute episode every week. Now, never animate anything by hand, you animation in just a week. But they not only did it once, they did it every week for over 20 years.
He's got his goggles on.
So the strategy of non-linear budgeting was super important.
Is it up on the screen? It might be up on the screen unless it's skipped.
Yeah, like the second episode, and by the 6th it's gone. By the 4th it's gone.
So but anyhow,
for over 20 years. So the strategy of non-linear budgeting was super important for them, as it let them do a lot of low-quality episodes, climatic episodes, be super, super good, because
but is that like allocation of budget or allocation of resources? And is like, again, he's making these assumptions without proving them, right? Because again, if he found an interview with the director or someone that worked on Naruto who literally said, yeah, no, we had to allocate resources and budget from certain episodes to, different ones because so-and-so, right? Like, okay, great. It's proven. Awesome. Sweet. We can add it to the lexicon of knowledge that we have on how anime is made. But because he's just asserting this as if it's true without actually proving that it's true. It's like you said, it's just feels, right? It's like you and your feels, right? It's just feels. He has a feeling that this is how it is, but he's not describing it as a feeling. He's saying, no, this is how it is, right? And that's a problem. So anyway,
if you want to do me a favor, check this description if there is the.
I will do that now. Yeah, just I'll hit play and then I'll do.
They have a portion of budget from all of those episodes before it. To see what I'm talking about, let's look at episode 19 from Naruto Shippuden. This is episode 239 in the overall series. Throughout this episode, we get a grab bag of
there's no
collectively called limited.
It's just his description, and then he has, if you're interested in how anime writing differs from the rest, he made another video about that. And
is he going to say because the Japanese have a different language?
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, no. So no sources, no whatever. You would think that he would source that interview that Connor did with that guy. Actually, you'd think that would be in there, but cite your shit anyway.
Throughout this episode, we get a grab bag of a number of techniques that are collectively called limited animation, which is a term for techniques that are used to limit the amount you actually have to animate to still get a cohesive shot.
Okay, so this is what I mean, right? Does that mean it's bad?
Doesn't mean that
Right?
doesn't make anime weird.
Yeah, and it doesn't make anime weird. So this is my problem. Does using limited animation techniques to lessen the amount of work your slave labor animators, right, have to do on a daily basis to churn out your 22-minute episodes per week, right? Does that, does using limited animation equal bad? Because I don't think it does. To me, that actually just sounds smart, right? Work smarter, not harder, right? Work smarter, not harder, right? So yeah, let's watch. Let's see what he's going to talk about.
So this can include things like hiding mouths when people are talking to avoid having to animate them.
Yeah, but that's just his character, though. He just wears a.
Yeah, but
this character always wears a mask. He always has a mask. This is a bad example of this because you could literally use another example of this with two characters that do actually have fucking mouths, right?
But when the manga author was drawing him, he had the vision to include it in the limited animation.
Yeah, the manga author gave him a mask specifically so the animators of the anime adaptation don't have to animate the mouth. Yeah, this is a bad example of this.
Classically, you also just have static images that you pan around instead of having to animate to give an illusion of motion.
Scenes?
Like in this scene.
Yeah. And again, work smarter, not harder. If you don't need to have excess movement, why have excess movement, right? Like if it's not like, does he want these characters to be like jumping around and moving all the time and like no, you don't. If you don't need it, you don't need it, right?
Motion,
I had
like in this scene.
one bit for me. Entire episodes of How to Become Ordinary, right? The series from the previous season. Had entire episodes where two characters were sitting down and talking. And that was very exciting, Naretsu. I was very intrigued.
You are very invested in this conversation these two characters were having. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I don't know why he's really doing that. Alright, it's very nice of them. But maybe my bigger picture, does he need to explain all this to explain why anime is weird? Or bad animation? Is this...
Yeah, again, it's...
two people talking to each other and using this and other camera angles to pan around and whatnot is good. It keeps you it keeps you active in this, because you could, Family Guy is the thing I'm going to mention 1,000 times this episode. Family Guy is just the same scene from the same angle at every single moment, every single time. Is that bad animation? I guess it is.
Yeah, again, I wouldn't describe this as bad. Again, it's work smart, not harder, right? Anyway, let's continue.
They turn 7 still images into 40 seconds of the show by just kind of sliding them around while characters are talking. Or like, this is a real shot from the show where Kakashi just kind of slides over the water.
Because he can walk on water here? And then
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, what if he just did a slide? So what?
I mean, it was just a quick scene though, but I feel like they are standing on water. Therefore,
I don't know.
It would make kind of sense that you could kind of glide it like ice or something.
Maybe. But
You
anyway.
mentioned this was a kind of an arid desert.
We're gonna get to see it. Hang on, because he's gonna. I'll move it back
Mm,
because
the
he's gonna
funnies.
zoom in on
This
it.
is a real shot from the show where Kakashi just kind of slides over the water. Episode.
I don't know. Is that bad? I don't
How many
think it is.
how many
really.
characters stop running, and glide a little bit forward on any surface?
Yeah.
On
Yeah,
grass.
you gotta
on,
stop. You gotta stop your momentum. Yeah.
on
yeah.
grass, on gravelly grounds, or in a desert, or wherever.
Yeah. God, we have to defend Naruto ship.
I don't mind. I watched Naruto for.
Well,
a while.
no. I'm just memeing. It's like, I just find it funny. But anyway, let's continue.
That low budget episode to episode 26, which is a very high budget episode.
Is this high budget?
This episode
scene?
Is it high budget? Yeah, again, is it high budget? Is it really?
Were the
climax
laser
of the
beams
last
there
20
over there? Were they high budget? Is this simple line over a painted
Yeah,
background?
this line being dragged across the ground with the smoke effect happening.
six
Yeah,
episodes of
alright,
the
let's
show,
do-
and it's also a
If you
big
go
character
back, right,
moment
we're going
with one of the
go back to the
Okay,
line
okay.
being dragged across.
Here-
All right,
here
this
we
is
go, here we go,
high
yeah.
budget laser
Alright.
beams, Ritsu. Look at the high budget
All
laser
right,
beams.
let's watch. Yeah.
All right, it's not
budget
playing for me.
episode.
All right, it's
Pew!
last
fine.
Yeah, it goes pew really
Yeah,
quick.
but like I said,
Pew!
right, this is that painted background, drag
Yeah.
a line over it, and then with some smoke around. Is that high
last
Yeah.
budget?
26
Woo! Just woo! There you
That's
go.
not dynamic. That's just a simple pan upwards with a characters are more complicated to pan around than this.
Anyway, let's keep going.
episodes of the show, and it's also a big character moment with one of the main characters of the show really stepping up in a way they haven't so far.
I remember this episode somewhat.
もう分かってますよね
Why is this Japanese now?
And because
I don't know.
性格
of that, it's obvious the producers have put way more budget into this. It's just
Oh,
jam-packed
budget,
with
the
shots that are a lot more
words.
complicated and have a lot more individual.
We need to remove. We're gonna remove your budget fucking rights. Budget privileges revoked. Budget privileges revoked. Stop fucking saying budget.
shots that are a lot more complicated and have a lot more individual frames of drawing than what we saw with episode 19. Like, just watch this shot. Just watch this shot.
Alright. That's a good scene.
Unlike the
yeah.
other episode, which turned
Oh yeah, he's slowing it down too, so we can see it.
Alright.
70 images into around 5 seconds of content.
Yeah, because she's fucking dude. Characters don't need to be constantly moving when they're standing around. If they're just standing around fucking talking, they don't need to be like emoting constantly. Like, what the fuck do you want?
How often are you walking around battling dolls when you're
Yeah.
talking to somebody?
Every time I have to go to work, I have to fight the legion of dolls.
Of Twitter bots coming in real
My
life.
the Twitter bots have to fight the legion of Twitter bots on my way to work. Yeah.
Well, you have your conversations.
Oh god. But no, it's like I don't fucking understand this, right? Like you don't need it doesn't have to be at like even in Oshino Koi, do the characters constantly move around when they're talking? Do they emote all the time?
No,
do
they
they
sit
do
around moping about dead moms or whatnot. Who cares about that?
Yeah, it's this is ridiculous.
And it's just so packed with fun little details. Like, here at the beginning, there's a focus pull, which I don't see too often in 2D anime. Mouth, and then she punches through it to
Oh god.
It's good. Yeah, I get. What does it tell about
Anime.
bad animation?
Yeah, again, it's not bad versus good, high budget versus low budget. He's got the dichotomy wrong, right? That's the problem.
high shots are called sakuga.
Oh, here we go. Now he's going to talk about the Sakuga.
which is another one of these words that has a little
One
different
other-
meaning
one
in
of those
English than in
words.
the original Japanese. But boy,
Yeah,
do I
yeah.
love Sakuga
cool as fuck animation. Yeah.
in the original Japanese. But boy, do I love Sakuga. It's another one of these things that's more unique to anime. Not to say that other animation can't have really high quality shots. It's just this thing. And by high quality, there's really a large number of characteristics that Sakuga can have. We've already seen in that Naruto example
looks
higher frame
clunky,
rate
though,
than
I have to
normal and
say.
impressive choreography. Impressive choreography. But sometimes you'll combine that with really dynamic camera shots.
Yeah, I don't want to be saying the same thing over and over again. That's why I'm like just sighing. 'Cause
Yeah, I'm also letting some skipping slide because the point is already been made here by him.
yeah, he's
and I'm
already
not-
he's already kind of made the point. Yeah.
It's like here. Or sometimes Sakuga will integrate. Sakuga is also one of the prime places where you'll see the shifts in
Oh,
art
look,
style
it's your
I talked
favorite
about
show.
earlier,
Hey,
where
Mr.
character
Boy.
designs can be made more
Hey.
simple or more talked about earlier.
But this is also part of like the thing where it's like they get like a particular animator in to do like I assume they probably got someone in to do this, right?
Very likely. I don't think this is an in-house or the regular animation.
I mean, it could be. it could be. I don't know. That's the thing. But I'm just saying, like, could be an example of that, right? But
That's
anyway.
okay. You
Where character
just click
designs can
a
be
tiny
made
bit
more.
backwards, so it's
Oh
not
yeah.
skip around a little bit.
Sakuga is also one of the prime places where you'll see the shifts in art style I talked about earlier, where character designs can be made trying to do. Consistency is way less important. Than trying to sell a specific emotion. Sakuga shows up in a lot of action
No,
scenes.
alright, Naretsu, I'm going to complain, right? Boshi the Rock is not Sakuga because she is in a different animation style. This is just a representation of her emotional state. Also,
Yeah.
why he's doing this entire section when he just earlier with that Sakura fight scene, there was already a different art style. He could have pointed it out there instead of showing
He's
this whole extra
he's just
stuff.
making the same point twice, basically.
And making it so much longer. Yes, include another example instead of Naruto being every example in there.
Yeah, but
Although-
we don't need like 5. Like we get the point that sometimes they change the art style to convey different
Yeah, but
emotions and things.
It's been a while, Naruto. It's been 2 hours maybe. But 2 hours ago, he said that characters will change their art style depending on an emotional state. What do we have here with Bochi? She's screaming. She's doing a death scream of social death.
Social anxiety death,
Yeah. Why put this in this section when it's not about Sakuga? It's about the emotional thing that was mentioned 2 hours ago. I don't get it, Naruto. I am getting frustrated by this kind of lack of many things.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm just sorry, I'm getting distracted by people. Autism, ADHD. I'm having my own Bochi.
Sakuga shows up in a lot of action scenes, but that's by no means the only place it is. Sometimes it's impressive shots of cooking a meal or going for a swim. Sometimes it's trying to convey a feeling of unease or trying to express complicated character emotions without any dialogue. Determined by the budget of the production. A show with a small budget might use limited animation even for climactic moments, while a larger budget show can spend the money and time on Sakuga for all sorts of scenes, from action scenes.
Yeah, make the
jokes.
same point a third time. We get it. They change, they do different things, different, right? Come on, man. Come on, man.
How much longer?
Come on,
Naruto?
man.
I hope.
We got 3 minutes.
I hope the chat is with me by just ignoring the skips because I'm not hearing anything new.
You don't care anymore.
No.
Zero.
Too bad,
Zero
chat.
Kia.
I hate you. I hate this video, and I hate you for watching with me. Finish it, Naruto. Oh, you already pressed play. It doesn't show it for me
Yeah,
yet.
yeah. Wait, no, okay.
To
There we go.
jokes,
Alright, let's see power again.
to just chill character moments and establishing shots.
You have to watch it back, Naruto. It's kind of ridiculous how many skips there are.
It's gonna be funny. Yeah, it's gonna be funny when I do the timestamps. It's gonna be-
I'm going to skip
But
forward
yeah.
and backwards in timestamps.
Hang on. There we go. Just...
At the beginning of the video, I use this clip as an example of a shot that people who don't watch anime would find weird. And honestly, thinking this is weird makes sense. You've got these characters with crazy hairstyles, these weird abstract lines in the background, much intensity. But let's talk through what we now know about it. The comic this anime was based on was trying to get a realistic depiction of high school sports, popular in a magazine filled with epic fantasy and high-stakes thrillers. So they needed a stylish enough art style to stand out. Within that art style, they needed a large number of characters to be
so I'm
easily
not-
identifiable
I'm
on the face, and for that to work
appreciating-
even when
Oh,
the face
sorry.
may be distorted.
There we go.
Plus,
I am appreciating a summary of the thing that he's trying to prove. It's unfortunate that I'm kind of disagreeing that he's proven anything at all.
Yeah, yeah. He hasn't really. Yeah. You can tell. I mean, I'm distracted elsewhere. That should
Oh,
probably
yeah.
tell you. Being distracted elsewhere, fucking doing other things. So I'm kind of like, shit. God, it's This is so bad.
distorted. Plus, it has to still look good in black and white. That level of emotional intensity is also important for competing in the magazine, but it can come off as weird when the audience isn't matching that level of excitement. Even some of the fastest spikes
Alright, so if you show that scene out of context, of course the person who is just watching them scream is not getting the emotional, journey with them. Show them the whole episode or something, then they'll understand the emotional journey the characters went through to scream like that because of some last slam to win the winning point. People understand that, how many the crowd. Well, this is the footballs. The whole crowd roaring, audible kilometers away. And then, exploding in cheers when the goal hits, and that's the winning goal, just 89 minutes in, and the goal that made it not a tie. Yeah. But if I just show you a
I'm probably playing. No, I'm playing GFL 2 later. I do that. I'm going to be doing that after.
And
No, because I'm gonna get something to eat after I'm done with this, and then I'm gonna go play.
I can
GFL 2.
and
Yeah, I've tapped out at this point. I'm fully fucking tapped out. Yeah, because this isn't fun. Because this is it's just gotten boring, right? It's just gotten boring because he's just making the same point over and over again. And he's not really tying it all together.
Alright,
He's just
so
gone
how
through,
many seconds? How many minutes?
You got 2 minutes. We got like 1.5.
Let's
minutes,
hope
so
there's
let's
a
just
quick
blitz. Let's just go through it. Let's get through it.
Gibson and all.
But by
Yeah.
combining all the tricks we've talked about so far, anime tries to get you in the head of the players and experience the same level of emotion that they do. Say by
Every
adding
goddamn
some
story
really
does this.
Yeah. This is not unique.
Even
And not-
sports.
Every fucking thing does this, dude. What are you on about? God, I feel like skipping myself. Do it myself.
can throw
Do
in
it
a-
myself.
Fortunately, the skipping also goes backwards over here.
Yeah, if he doesn't fucking hurry up.
Then we can throw in a visual metaphor of the player's mindset at the time. Then we throw in some Sakuga with a change in art style and relativistic time to really sell an impact. Then we finish with an impossible camera angle, more bullet time, and some internal monologue.
Alright.
I am... Alright.
Really dramatic click like we saw earlier, you can get people to match that level of excitement and be way more invested than they would be otherwise.
Yeah, fans of the thing are into the thing with the thing happens. Have you never watched a show that you're invested in, and then something hype happens, and you go, yeah!
And for a second, I thought the two very white boys were Dutch because they were orange.
Yeah, they look like Dutch footballers because the orange.
I thought I found my people, but no, no, they're watching some.
You found your people, yeah. One of them, yeah. Oh
god. Scenes like this are totally what made me a fan of the series. Hopefully by watching this video, you can now have a better understanding of why this strange seeming stuff is happening. Although I will say the serve I was showing there is not actually what these reaction shots are in reference to. I didn't show it for spoiler reasons, but the reason these characters and YouTubers are excited has more to do with a story development than anything directly with the animation. Anime story structures is kind of its own separate video, one of which I've already made, in fact.
Okay,
nudge,
he's
nudge.
done now. This is we're
eyes.
So.
Oh, them eyes.
Oh, that was bad. That was bad, dude.
I'm going to the other screen. I often just skip this screen, but I don't want to watch that skipping boring video anymore. I have no idea why I did that all the time. Anyway.
Yeah, no, that was we'll have to look into it. We'll see what happens next week. Maybe it's just a server. Could just be a server problem. But yeah, no, final thoughts. That was bad. That was bad. That was really bad.
Very frustrating. Part of the frustration is because I hear he can be reasonable. He has reasonable opinions. He has reasonable thoughts, but he's just completely doing some imaginary problem solving for problems that don't exist. For people that I don't know that they exist. And explaining things that he's already kind of mentioned before.
And he does a lot of the same sins that I've harped on before a lot, where it's like prescribing intent to the author, making assumptions and prescribing them as fact, right? He's doing a lot of the sins that YouTubers tend to do, where like he's saying, oh, this is this way because why? Because I say so, right?
Because I say a thing that sounds reasonable, but
I say a thing that sounds logical and reasonable, therefore it must be true. And it's like, well, not really. You might want to do a bit more research on that one.
All right, just one example because it's on my mind, right? He showed the Sakura fighting scenes with the dolls. The wooden dolls. He showed that for a very long time.
He went over it twice, in fact, because he showed it in full time, and then he went back and slowed it down.
And then he talked about another at the same length of time about Sakuga. Why just, from, hey, look, good. Here's an episode that encapsulates a lot of things that I'm going to talk about. This, and this. He could have, I don't know, Naretsu. The video skipped backwards and forwards a bunch. It's hard to tell. But the entire sections about Sakuga, about also maybe even limited animation could somewhat skipped because it was all in that one episode. Or pick the Haikyuu one because Haikyuu apparently did everything there. Use that example. But there's also so many assumptions about budgets and weird ways of explanation.
Yeah, about budget, about manga, and why manga get popular, about manga being weird, right? Manga has to be weird because it has to sell, right? And all this other kind of stuff. Like I think the overall problem I have with this video is, I could see it being an interesting video, if he just like reframed a few things, right? Like if he came at it from like a different angle and he did, like, instead of making assumptions and assertions, he actually did some research and said, hey, here's what a manga author has said about this, right? Manga author has said, I had to make my manga like interesting to readers, so I added this like quirk to it, right? Or something, right? So
Also, there's just it talks so broad, so authoritatively. Also, but also just it's all about Jump. It's all about manga and the small weird things. Hey, look, the manga is just a storyboard for the anime, but then the anime scene is in a different location. What's up with that? Oh, the character is thinking a lot. That happens in manga. Doesn't that also happen in light novels? Sorry, light novels are not mentioned in this household.
Yeah, this is a manga house.
Yeah, it's
you will not have a relationship with a dirty light.
And Western Archer differentiates characters like this, but anime with its wacky characters does it like this. Well, have you looked at series that feature a lot of adult characters wearing suits? How do they do it? Just like the Western, so there's no difference there. There's a lot of problems with this, and just the one that kind of stands out above them all is making Japan such a exotic place, such a place outside of what we do. Over there, we cannot go there. They're doing their own weird thing.
Yeah, the Orientalism angle is definitely a problem. Yeah. So to cap this off, so we can move on to talking about our Orientalist animes. Sammy makes a really good point, and it's a question that I think would be a fun little discussion to end on. Is I think at this point a question needs to be asked: what's worse, a video that makes a point and goes nowhere, or a video that makes a point based on wrong or lacking of sources?
Problem is that this video does kind of both at the same time.
It does, yeah. That's the problem with this video specifically, is it does both. But I think in general, I would prefer a video that... It is a hard question, because I on some level, I would prefer a video to be sourced and make a point that goes nowhere, because then you can at least trace back this... Because then you can at least go to like, okay, you're not going anywhere with this point, but I can trace back how you came to that conclusion. Right?
Right, so it's the Soviet Union banned technology. That's so funny.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's true. Yeah, it's kind of more fun when it's like a point based on wrong or lax. Yeah. I guess you're kind of right. My mind has been changed.
Yeah, I think that wrong sources is fun to debunk. Fun to yell at for being wrong, right?
That's true, yeah.
A point that goes nowhere is fun to insert your own things, right? That's intellectual time with your top hats.
Yeah.
Monocles.
Big intellectual, yeah.
And when the Soviets banned all technology, that's fun to laugh at. That's fun to just somehow
have a gap.
Try to explain how ridiculous it is, and you can't, because it's so ridiculous. Space race, satellites, nukes, technology, whole urbanization of the nation. Factories.
That's how Joseph Stalin rose to power. He banned technology, Ellie. You don't understand. You don't get it. But anyway, so anyway, let's Dan to Dan time. Talk about today's episode of Dan to Dan. Again, we had our high point, our high action, and now we're going back to our low. Right, we're going back to our low point.
Yeah, I mean, in attention.
Yeah, and yeah, and tension levels. Yeah, we've
Mm-hmm.
had our high, and now we've gone back to our low, right? And yes, we open with the introduction of a new kind of character. I'm assuming the school nurse.
Yes. It
said school nurse has shown
on
up.
It said on her badge.
ID card. Yeah.
Yeah.
She seems like a fun character, Ellie. She seems like a fun
It's
little...
a funny detail that I didn't capture because I thought this screenshot was better. Her badge has a picture of exactly the post that she's in.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you have to look at yourself, but this what you see in the upper right corner is exactly her picture on her badge with the whip and all on this angle with the leg just in frame.
So she shows up and she's basically like, "Are you guys getting bullied? I have zero tolerance for the bullies." Right?
Because of course these three are found almost completely naked and doused in water. So yeah, that is a kind of a reasonable thing to think of a
situation. Yeah. And it's a pretty fun little gag scene where another teacher shows up and interrupts, and she's like, "What do you do? How dare you interrupt me? I'm going to punish you." I'm going to starts whipping this other teacher. Starts fucking.
I assume you know Naruto, but queen is a way to deform, refer to a dom female in dominatrix. Queen.
Yes, I am very familiar with this. Yes,
but then to the chat, to the wider internet, queen is a way to refer to a dominatrix.
Yes,
and she's
so basic. Yeah. So we get that, and now because we're basically the first half of this episode is mostly decompression, right? We're decompressing from what happened. We're we're saying, hey, here's what happened. Here's like the debrief, right? We're debriefing what happened. They're kind of reacting like they were, my popularity is gonna go down. No, what am I gonna do?
Naked.
Oh no, yeah, big embarrassment. We're gonna kind of step
valid,
a bit of this.
It
is very valid, and it is well to handle, but it's kind of hard to kind of talk about in a sense, with because I don't want to spend the whole time explaining what happens. I will say I did quite enjoy how you had the friends of the pink-haired girl show up, and they're like, what happened? Oh, did this girl bully you? Da, da, da. And then they drag her away, right? And then Ocarine and our main girl are they having a moment. They're having another moment, Ellie. He explains the misunderstanding, and he says, "Oh yeah, I was just." I was trying to work out because I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be cool.
Momo goes from, why did you want to be cool?
Yeah.
And then they have a very cute scene where, they look away from each other, and then one looks at the other, and then the other looks away, and then looks back, and the other looks away. And...
It's so romantic. It's so romantic. And then her friends bust through the door, and they interrupt the moment, and it's over. And it's very good.
Do a funny scene from Alright, I have solved the mystery.
Yeah, they do a funny scene where her friends are trying to like deduce what happened.
Detective
and they're like, okay, so listen here. We got the new girl comes in, right? Now we have a love triangle. So how do we solve the love triangle? Naked gladiatorial fight.
And there's another.
So that's what.
And some other impression of a different actor, because that's not her. It has to be an actor.
Yeah.
And some detective so there's another girl.
There's another girl.
And I think that my note says she is Shiratori Aira. Do you know her?
And you have the other friend. You have the other friend with the fucking torch and the like transparent, like I think that's like a paper separator or something.
Yeah,
and it's like using
red filter.
I remember like we used to, it actually is funny because back in back at school, we would do that, but we'd do that with rulers. Like if kids had like transparent rulers that had a color, you would like bring a torch and you'd like put the ruler in front of the light to change the color of the light. Like we'd actually do that kind of thing for fun. It was great. So it's kind of funny how they do that here, right? Where like they're exaggerated because of anime, right? But like like this is a very realistic thing, right? Where you've got the friends acting up and having fun and doing the stuff, right? And yeah, so the decompression kind of continues, and pink-haired girl is like surrounded by all of the sycophants, right? All of the not really friends, but just the popularity, whatnot, and they're all bad mouthing our main girl, and she kind of has a moment of no. Yeah, Momo.
Because
She's kind of like, no, Momo.
is,
I was the one that spread the rumor. Momo's chill. Don't talk bad about Momo. You know,
because the thing is,
Noretsu,
right? Aira was kind of. I am going to say that Momo did everything.
I'm gonna say you did it. It's all your fault.
And then, but then her classmates go from, oh, it is without Aira mentioning it at all. They yeah, it is Aira, Momo. I mean, yeah, it is Momo. Yeah, let's get her. Let's do this. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Oh, and let's do this.
Yeah, she didn't even have to say anything. All of the other people.
And they were working each other up, going from, oh yeah, let's do this, and let's do this, and let's do that. And then, all right, no, wait, I feel bad because she helped me, and I don't want her to be. I mean, I would want her to take the blame, but I don't want her to be kind of bullied for it. It's kind of what I feel Aira's emotional state was at the moment.
Yeah, having a moment with a Chinibyo is kind of like dropping for a minute, and the empathy and the yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. Probably not a good idea.
We share
kind
secrets, power, stories, things, And then they have a little bit. Momo and Aira have a little bit of talk afterwards. Momo very correctly guesses or assumed that Aira didn't set the entire school up on her. But Noretsu, they're interrupted.
Yes, they're interrupted by the addition of, you guessed it, it's the Crabman.
Shrimp Crabman.
Boxing Crabman shows up, and he's bleeding white fluid. White fluid coming all over him.
Let's save that for later, Noretsu.
Yes, we'll come back to
Noretsu. I forgot to mention this before, but usually, right? With my groceries getting limited and I'm stretching out supplies. Usually, Noretsu, my body is made of dairy products.
Right. Yeah, because you are a based European with lactose tolerance, like me. Yeah.
So I have one block of cheese. Normally, Noretsu, I can eat a block of cheese in 2 days. I can drink a pack of milk in a day, every day.
Oh no! Now you have to ration. I have to
ration. I've rationed 1 pack for an entire week. And Noretsu, I drink so much milk. I wouldn't be surprised if I would bleed milk. Replace my entire fluid with milk. I would be fine. I am lactose tolerant. I am migrant lactose. Come to me.
Yeah. Yeah,
give me
that lactose. Give me that lactose. Give it to
Unrelated
me.
to the show, of course.
Unrelated to the show, of course. So, but okay, so we get what is his name? Like, what do we call him?
Doesn't have a name.
Crabman. We'll just call him Crabman, right?
Yeah.
Crabman. We get to find out. We get a sad flashback. Oh, it's his son.
Yeah.
It's his kid, and he's crying with his kid. It's all bad. And then he wakes up. And when does he wake up? He wakes up at the grandma's house. And Momo and Ocarina are like, look, it's an alien. And she's like, nah. She's like, nah, that's not an alien. Oh man. So, and he's kind of like, oh, you gave me food and you treated my wounds. Oh, thank you. And then they have like this, as we've come to find, every time an arc ends, what happens, Ellie, when an arc ends?
They'll go to grandma.
Like, well, they go to grandma and they have dinner. They have.
I have a
food. They
dinner
have
that
the
is
food.
somewhat related to the thing they just fought.
Kind of. So it's sushi. They're having
Yeah.
sushi.
Also,
But
Harry was-
they're trying to kill each other for the sushi.
just a note on Retsu, because previous time after they fought a ghost, a monster with very long hair, they eat it, somen, a ramen with very long strands things. Now they defeated fish monsters, and now they're eating fish.
Yes.
And before that, they defeated
So-
the crab, and now they're eating crab.
So after we have a bit of comedy with them slap fighting each other for the sushi, we get to find out the backstory of our crabman. It turns out he is from a race of crabmen that
surprising.
were supposedly conquered. I believe was what happened. Was he's
Well,
from
no, he doesn't really say that. He just says that they have strong bodies, therefore they, as a species, do often bodyguard work and whatnot. But also, either his home, his planet, or system, or whatever, is a war zone of some kind.
Yeah, there's a big war going on right
somewhere where he lives, or around where he lives. Not sure, not clear. And he needs money. He needs money for blood transfusion every day. For his kids.
because his son has a condition that's causing him to lose all his blood, so he needs to do blood transfusion for his son. And of course, Ocarine is like, I'm gonna help you because I'm a good person. I must help. I can't just
take my dick and sell it.
Yeah, you could take my dick and sell it for money. And obviously Momo is like, that's not gonna work. He needs to keep getting money because,
job every day.
Job. He needs to find. Basically, man needs to touch grass, get job. Essentially.
Well, he didn't get a job.
So,
it's just a bad job because he got him.
Yeah, just a bad job. Yeah. So he but then it turns out, Grandma, before he's about to leave, Grandma's like, "Oh, that blood of yours, that smells familiar. Try this milk. This the milk." And the guy's like, "Okay." Turns out, the aliens' blood is made out of milk.
What?
It's the same thing as milk.
I just was talking about that.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. It's amazing how that
really don't know. I was thinking of talking about me not drinking milk anymore and my blood no longer be milk. Then I watched Down the Dawn, and what is there? An alien with milk for blood. It was very funny coincidence.
It's very, very funny, yeah. It's very funny. So pretty much what happens is, they go, "Oh yeah, this is milk. This is just like our blood. We can use this as blood. Awesome, cool. But this milk, it's not strong enough. It's kind of, because milk is pasteurized, right? Milk is typically pasteurized. Yeah, diluted. Yeah. But Grandma's like, I know a guy who's a farmer. He'll let you have one of the cows. There you go. There's your there's your milk. You can get it straight from the source. And so then we get to switch to a pretty good scene of the UFO. His UFO comes in and picks up the cow. And he's going, thank you. I will help you out. Foreshadowing. This is in the business. We call this foreshadowing. He's like, I'll help you guys out if you ever need help. Please. Yeah, I'm cool. Yeah, ooh, alien.
And note, of course, is that he's apparently kind of megaphoning this across the entire farm fields.
Yeah,
He's
yelling
yelling
stealthy
over the sound system to the entire province.
What?
Wow.
So my problem with this scene though is he only takes one cow. Why wouldn't he take it? Yeah, but what's going to happen when the cow dies?
I guess that he could. I see a thing, right? So he needs milk to replenish the blood of his child. There's nothing that's stopping him to sell some of the milk extra to other people, and
that is true.
Then come back to Earth with money or some currency or some exchange.
And because he needs a bull, right? He needs to make a cow farm, right? He needs to actually start farming the cows, because once the cow dies, he's not going to have a source of milk anymore. He's going to have to get another cow.
Yeah. So
whereas if he got a cow and a bull and he started making a cow farm on his home world, then
I
he
don't
would
think
have
the
infinite milk.
alien is so good at taking care of the cow that he would be able to raise the entire herd.
I think I'm just making fun because it feels like a bit of an oversight on the like. It's probably not something they're really thinking about,
No,
right?
and
'Cause-
also, he's happy with one cow, so let him be happy. Also, he can come back
Yeah.
and ask and do something in return for the cow, so it's all fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. And before they can clone cows. Yeah, that's true, Gouda. They
That
probably
too.
just clone it. Yeah, that too. But anywho, so yeah, after that excitement, they're back at the house, and they're all trying to beg Grandma to buy new school uniforms for them. They got to buy new school uniforms for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And Momo is like, we're going to extort the financial the financial security of adults. And Grandma is like, I'm not going to buy your one because you look like you're trying to extort the financial security of adults. And she gets Momo to do like a funny impression thingy, whatever. And then
some other character, some other actor from 50 years ago.
Some other thing. But then new character. We have the final character in the OP has shown up. He shows up on the doorstep. And Okarun is like, oh, who's that?
He's already kind of disturbed because they know each other.
Yeah, they know each other. Ooh, but who's that?
Also, there's
Momo's.
There's a small scene, right, where Gigi, as we know he's called, just looks over to Okarun for a second and then continues talking like, oh no, I don't need to.
Who's this?
As insecure as Okarun is, being ignored like that is kind of a threat in of itself, right?
Yeah, you're not even worth acknowledging. Yeah, you're not even a threat to me, right? You're not a threat to me in my position.
And with me talking to Momo, who I know, and you don't know that I know her.
Yeah. But we find out that this individual is Momo's childhood friend.
Oh no!
Just so happens to also be.
I can selfish this. It's not the end of the world. It's just childhood friends.
Yeah. Just childhood friends. Okay, it's still good. It's good. And her first boyfriend.
No.
Oh no!
Old love.
The love triangle just became a love square. The love triangle just became a love square. So yes,
it is kind of. It's more of a line, though, right?
Kind of, yeah, it's kind of. So we've had a new dynamic has been tossed into the works. So it's going to be very interesting next week to see what happens, right? What is the new dynamic going to be with this new character? How's it gonna go?
Going purely off the OP, there will be no more monsters or anything of that kind. It would be pure this introduction of this new character and the dynamic. I assume that next episode is big disturbed dynamics in going on, out of balance. And at the end of the last episode will be balance restored, but new threat appears of some kind. It's kind of the my prediction of the last two episodes.
Yeah.
Next episode, the impact of this new dynamic, and the episode after would be probably some rebalancing and new threat. Oh, maybe should say what I think about the show, although it's kind of easy to tell it's good. So, what else I'm going to say? Very good scene in the infirmary where nurse office, where Okarun and Momo were just kind of glancing at each other for a while. Good character growth for Ira. Very good use of the trope of the aliens abducting cows. Made sense. Was funny. Was deconstructed.
Deconstruction.
Was subverted the trope by being on purpose and deliberate and fully knowingly done. Also, one funny scene where in the infirmary still after Queen leaves, but before friends arrive, where Okarun starts talking a lot. Oh, but the aliens are after the ghost, but they can't get the ghost, and la la la. Ira is going from, ooh, the boy that I like is talking a lot. I am now interested also. So Ira is kind of gazing at Okarun, and Momo is looking at Ira, gazing at Okarun, going, "What the fuck are you gazing about?" It was a funny moment, a funny scene, a funny bit. Anything that stand out to you, Naretsu?
Not particularly. Like I mentioned before, I did quite like the detective bit with the friends, because that was I like it because, like, again, with the whole uptime downtime structure they have here, like, we get these kind of scenes that they don't really add a lot to, like, the plot or like the movement of the plot, but they are quite entertaining, right? And they kind of highlight, like, the sort of there's all this crazy shit going on, but at the end of the day, they're still kind of normal teenagers, right? Where you've got the friends being like, "Oh, what happened? Oh, let's come up with this wild theory as to what happened, and we'll make a big show out of it. We'll make it like a detective drama, and we'll do this thing, and it'll be all," and like, it's all kind of pretty chill, right? It's chill stuff, right? And so I quite like where the structure of the show, well, I guess the series is going with this, right? Where we get these moments where it's like, oh yeah, nice and chill, and then you get a big, here's the explosive, action-packed arc type stuff. But other than that, other than that, it's good stuff. Very fun.
I
always a good
thought
time.
I was wondering how they were going to resolve them being naked in school, but being called.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Like, how the fuck are they going to explain that?
But being called into the nurse's office on suspicions of being bullied is a very good way, and kind of almost very real way.
You can easily just kind of hand wave it away a little bit with that. Yeah.
Like, all right, teacher, students naked in school. All right, the teachers are coming. Quick clothes are being passed out, and they're being questioned.
Yeah,
that would be the actual order of things. So, well, and of course, in actual real life, they would be questions a little bit longer and not just being let go because he was interrupted.
Yeah.
The investigation would have gone on a little bit longer than just, are you being bullied? No. Are you sure?
Yeah, are you sure? Are you really sure? Are you really sure?
You were in a weird, situation. I am not going to just take no for an answer, But yeah, good stuff all around. I'm looking forward to the disturbed dynamics with the introduction of Gigi, and how insecure Okarun will suddenly be, and maybe semi-protective, semi-withdrawn at the same time. You know how insecurities go. Suddenly you want to possess the thing and also stay away from it at the same time.
Yes. All right then. Guess that ends the show. I don't think there's much else. I was going to talk a little bit about GFL, but it's too late now. I'm going to talk about it maybe next week.
We're back over 3 hours.
We're back over 3 hours. I got to get food. I gotta do
next week will be my plan at least.
Gaming. Yeah, I believe it's gaming related. Yeah, because
so,
we'll either find a short gaming related video to do and then do a recap of the Game Awards, or we will just make it all about the Game Awards and just have it be a Game Awards show.
Right, this is almost a tradition. Do discussions of what we're going to do next at the end of the episode. Because my plan was to basically recap or kind of watch it and talk over it.
You want to watch it?
And
yeah, we could do that.
And just skip over the ads and awards that we don't care much about. Maybe it'll be a little too short. Maybe we'll do that short video and then kind of go over results and new trailers, new stuff. Skipping over most anticipated video game movie because that's such a stupid award.
Yeah.
Such an ad.
I'm sure that we might be able to find like a time stamped sort of
By that
sort of
point,
one, maybe.
yes.
Yeah.
And get claimed
We'll
by
see how we
copyright
go.
for music again.
And get claimed by copyright, but yeah, it'll be
Yeah,
fun.
that happens
It'll be
every
good stuff.
year.
We can end the year by getting banned off YouTube. It'll be great.
Oh.
But anyway,
That
nah.
would be
So anyway,
funny.
yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. Have a good rest of the
Yeah,
day.
later.
See you later. Bye.